Check 1 2 1 2 2 2 1 2 1 2 1 2 2 2 1 2 1 2 2. Check 1 2 1 2. Hey guys. Hey guys. Hi everyone. Hey guys. Okay, so welcome to the Neutrino stream. It is really nice to have you guys here today. This is my first time streaming and I am really excited to do this for you guys. So yeah, let's have some fun today. So okay. Hello. Hey guys. Hey guys. Hey guys. Hey guys. Hey guys. Hi everyone. Hello everyone. Hey guys, how's it going? Hey guys, how's it going? Hey guys, how's it going? Hello, hello. Hi guys. Welcome to the Natuno stream. It is really nice to have you guys here. Let me know if you can hear me and if you can see all of this and if it's all good. It's actually my first time doing this, so if something's not working properly, please let me know. I've got my phone here with me, and this is basically helping me track your messages on the chat in real time. And yeah, it's great to see you guys. Well, I can't really see you, but thank you for dropping by. Awesome, awesome. I'm so glad you can hear me. Cool. Thank you for stopping by. I'm Natuno. If you don't already know, now you know. Oh God. And yeah, welcome down to my first Q&A for Ableton Live. And today we're basically gonna be talking about a few different things, essentially. So I've been getting a lot of questions from a lot of friends, from a lot of fans, a lot of people that I work with about Ableton Live and how to use Ableton Live in a multitude of ways, really. And the reason that I personally use Ableton Live and why I love Ableton so much is the fact that you can really you can really kind of do a lot of different things with just Ableton Live as a software. Now, just before I continue with the rest of this, I just want to like spend a little bit of time kind of like chilling with you guys and talking with you in the chat if we could just wait for a little while we have a few more friends join us and stuff. And yeah, I just kind of want to hang out with you guys and talk to you and show you some cool stuff, maybe some music as well, and just random shit, you know. Okay, so if you've got any questions, please go ahead and put it in the live chat. So essentially, the format that I'm going to be delivering today's stream is essentially in let me put it like this. I've got a mentorship where I've got two students, and one of them is actually here right now. Her name's Hazwani. Hazwani's in the chat somewhere. Say hello when you see this. It's a little bit funny for me, guys, because there's a lag between when you see this on your screen and when I'm recording this. So the live chat is at a different like timing. There we go. And then she's replying, cool. Okay, so yes, Hazwani over here is my student. And so essentially what's been happening is Chandana has sponsored a few different courses run by Makhluk Seni and Creative Space. So I'm running a music production course with these guys. And essentially what that means is I've got a few mentees that I am kind of showing the ropes of Ableton to and just kind of getting them to where they want to be as beginning Ableton users. So I thought it would be cool to kind of open that experience up to a few different people, you know, where you can ask me a few random questions in the live chat about Ableton Live, and I can actually show you a few cool things about what you're trying to learn, you know. And I think by the end of this, we can all come out a little bit stronger on Ableton Live, and yeah. So I have done one tutorial with Hazwani already, and essentially in that first tutorial, I gave them a primer on Ableton Live and how to kind of go about using the software, what all the different knobs and buttons sort of do, how it's laid out, and they've already passed that one. And I showed them a little bit about programming drums with samples. So not really using MIDI in the Ableton drum rack or anything like that, but actually doing your drums on audio tracks. And I think the reason it's good to learn to do this on audio tracks is the fact that when you're a band person or someone who plays an instrument or someone who's producing music that is meant to be played with a band, for example, it's really important to understand editing concepts and just workflow in Ableton Live itself. If you're looking to work with audio heavily, if you're going to be tracking guitars and bass and stuff like that, having a strong understanding of editing is going to get you a lot further rather than starting off with a lot of MIDI and going into the MIDI route and then kind of like, how do I edit my guitar parts to sound really polished, you know? So that's kind of what I've covered with them, where I gave them an assignment to make a drum beat or a few different drum beats using samples that I had actually passed over to them. Hey, what's up? We've got Thurish in the house. Thurish over here is my homie from Abstract Nature, which is our independent label. And yeah, good to see you, buddy. Okay, so we've done that one lesson already, and then the MCO happened, and we're all here on stream, chilling out. And yeah, I think I've caught us up to where we are right now on the Chindaran course. And so, because the whole MCO thing happened, I kind of had to figure out a way to deliver these course materials to my mentees. And I think that doing it in an interactive kind of live streaming format compared to just recording videos and putting them out there is a little bit better, because the thing that they liked about the mentor and mentee kind of workflow was that I'd be able to really personalize their journey on of where they're trying to go in terms of what they're trying to learn. And so I thought delivering the second lesson on a live stream format would really open that up to you guys to be able to ask these questions as well. So I know for a fact that my buddy over here, Josh Thomas, is an amazing singer-songwriter, by the way. You guys should really check out his material. If you're here, you see that name over there, go check him out. He's really cool. Oh, hello, Chloe. It's good to see you. Thank you so much for dropping by. Okay, so Josh over here is a buddy of mine who is a band guy. So he's making really good blues and rock music. And honestly, a lot of people will tell you that Ableton is not necessarily the go-to when it comes to band material. And this is because it doesn't have some of the workflow features that really heavy audio focused workstations like um, Josh made you do it, didn't he? Josh made me do this too. So Ableton doesn't have some of these workflow shortcuts that bigger softwares that are not bigger, but more audio heavy software such as Pro Tools or Cubase or even Logic Pro have. And you'll understand this in terms of things like track comping. And what track comping is, wow, my mouth is getting so dry. Give me a second. Please, please, please ask me as much as you want in the live chat. Start talking to each other, go crazy, start spamming F if you need to. Hello, Kandan, it's really good to see you, buddy. I hope you're doing well. What's the quality of the stream like for you guys? Is everything okay? Like, are things clear? And Josh is not that terrible of a friend. Yeah, so let's get some Fs in the chat. Okay, so cool. We've got 8 people in the room right now. Hi, guys. Thank you so much for dropping by. Okay, cool. So the stream is looking all right. Nice. I hope it's sounding good. I'm going to start playing some material off of Ableton. So I'm just gonna drag something into Ableton Live and I'll play it and we can I got distracted by something in the chat. Like I said, the whole text messages happening here and then um it happening at a different timing. Whoa, it's a lot. Okay, let me refocus. I'm gonna start playing some material off of Ableton. and I'm gonna basically kind of level out the audio just so everything sounds good on your end as well, and nobody's dying if you're a headphone user. Yeah, if you're a headphone user, please tell me in the chat so I don't do stupid shit that might hurt you. Also, hello Nadia. What's up, Darshan? Good to see you, buddy. Okay, I am going to play some music for you guys. I've got a few other people who really want to join the stream who are on the way, so if you guys don't mind, I'll play you some of my demos. And yeah, this guy knows what's up. This guy knows what's up. So I'm gonna show. Oh, okay, cool. I'm glad you asked that. I'm glad you asked that, Josh. I will show you guys the keyboards that I used. In fact, they are sitting right here next to me. But before wow, don't be like that, Walid. We've got to be considerate to the people who still have their hearing because they haven't lost it to dubstep yet. So, I will get to showing you the keyboards and stuff, and I think what might be cool is later I will open up the project that I did for that video, and I'll kind of reverse engineer some of those sounds so you guys get an idea of how I did it, I guess. But yeah, for now I'm just gonna play some music for you guys. Since we've got Thurish over here on the chats, and I know what he wants to listen to. We might end up listening to this again later in the stream, but if you guys want to listen to a track that Thurish and I are collaborating on, or should I say Mr. Glaze Baguette and myself are collaborating on, I'll play it for you guys. What's up, Shankar? Good to see you, buddy. Thank you for dropping by. Okay. All right, sure thing, sure thing. Got you, Hari. Cool. Okay, so you can see my file explorer and stuff. Spooky. Now, I think one of the most important things when you're working with digital audio workstations and just with audio in general, like any digital creative, file management is really, really important. So, if there's one tip I can give you starting off, back up your shit, man. Seriously, back up all of your stuff, like all of your samples, everything you've recorded. Don't delete your old beats. You never know what you can get out of your old material, and I will cover this topic slightly later as well. Cool. Okay. So in the meantime, I'm just gonna play you guys that track that I did recently for the video, just because I know if I play the collaboration that I've done with Glaze Baguette now, I'm gonna get a few friends who are kind of angry at me for not having played it when they were here. So we'll wait a little while. But I'll play you something else first so we can get this audio going. All right, cool. Let's see. Aha. Okay, so one of the things that you'll notice about Ableton is that it's got this really weird like. Okay, you guys hear that, right? Like, it all sounds good for you guys. I'm just gonna keep quiet while you listen to this for a bit. Then just make sure the audio sounds okay. If it's too loud or too soft or anything like that, please let me know so I can change it now. Cool, thank you. Okay, cool. So audio check all good. We're sounding good. Um, Sweet. Isis Awesome. I have no idea who Isis Awesome is, but thank you so much for joining. Thank you so much, man. I really appreciate it. I really appreciate it. Okay. So that was a beat that I made recently for a video on Instagram, and we'll go back to that one later. But fun fact, I used only three synths on that song. One of which was this little fellow over here. He is a well, he, she, it, this thing, this beautiful, beautiful thing. This is a Casio VL1. Now, this little plastic thing is a calculator, actually. In fact, it is the first one of the first synthesizers that Casio made. And we all know Casio, right? If you've ever done A levels or went to school at any point of your life, um, you know Casio. And yeah, this is actually a Casio calculator. And they decided to kind of put a synthesizer engine into it using the sound chip that the calculators had. So it was their first kind of attempt into going into digital music technology, and they kept the calculator in it actually, which is the best part. So if you look at the, I'll show it to you guys. Hold up. If you look at the keys, I'll hold it up to the camera closer. So the keys on this thing are not actual like keys like on a normal keyboard. If you notice, they're actually buttons, and these buttons are your notes. And I think my one of my favorite parts about this little monster is the fact that it runs on batteries and it's got a speaker on it. And I think this is one of the great things about these retro cheap toy synths from the 80s and the 90s. Like this one right here is from the early 90s, if I'm not mistaken. I can't remember the exact year it was made. I can remember from my Yamahas, but I'm not completely sure for this one. You can Google it if you want. Casio VL1. So it has batteries in it, and you can RIP headphone users. But yeah, you can actually play little notes. It's a monophonic instrument, meaning you can only play single notes, which is why in the video I only used it for um, lead parts and stuff like that. But yeah, let me answer some of your questions first. Okay. Question: how do you ensure the track and its elements slash instruments is loud enough for various kinds of speakers, cars, monitors, phones, etc.? Like, when do you stop tweaking? Okay, that's a great question, Chloe. Very, very good question. I will come back to this little guy in a little while once I answer Chloe's question, because I think quite a few of you guys actually want to know this. Hey, Olive, it's so good to see you, bro. I hope you've been well. It's been a long time since I've seen you. And thanks for the compliment. I really appreciate it. Hey, and nice, cool. You brought your friend as well. Thank you for joining us. It's awesome. I think you tagged him in my Facebook post. It's Daniel, right? I think so. I think it was Daniel. Okay. So, Chloe, let's answer your question. Okay. So, the whole I will get back to Chloe adding this to her rig. We're not done talking about Chloe adding this to her rig yet. But to answer your question, um, the process of getting a track ready, it follows a certain pipeline. So your pipeline kind of looks, well, it's structured this way. So your first stage obviously is your writing or what have you not, and production, and then recording of the song, and then your mixing and sound design and vocal production and all these different things. Mixing is the second last stage. Now, mixing is actually where you're preparing all your individual tracks to sound good together. So if you think of a meal, for example, um, mixing is where you're actually cooking your, well, not cooking, but you're choosing your intensity of ingredients. So certain things need to kind of stand out a little bit more, like your kick and snare, and certain things need to be a little bit wider to make space for the kick and snare, like your guitars would need to be wider, which is why people like the double track and pan hard left and right, and all these kind of different things. This is all into mixing. Now, what you're asking, getting something ready for various platforms, that is actually in the mastering stage. Okay, so I'm just gonna read the rest of these comments. You cannot steal this for me from me, because I can just hook you up on where to get it for pretty cheap because I am a nice person who will help you out, friend. DM me. Okay, so Chloe, back to your question. Mastering is actually the stage that you get your track ready for all these different platforms. So your car, your phone, your tablet, your laptop speakers, your nice studio monitors, your projector speaker, your all these different playback mediums. It's actually mastering that is the stage that prepares your music for that. So what a mastering engineer is actually doing is they are mixing your final stereo track. So in the mixing stage, you're mixing all the different tracks you've recorded. So like all your guitar tracks, all your drum tracks, all of your different vocal tracks. You're mixing it together into a stereo track, right? In mastering, you are polishing this stereo track. So to bring back that food analogy, the mastering stage is where you're plating your food, where you're making it look fancy and presentable and look appetizing no matter who looks at it under what lighting, for example. Um, so yeah, mastering. And to give you a little bit of insight into what the mastering stage kind of comprises of, it's mainly a few things, and they're pretty basic actually. What a mastering engineer would tend to use is obviously a EQ because you might want to touch up certain frequencies for certain tracks or cut out certain things you might not want. Um, I'm so sorry for making you hungry. I'm hungry too, but I'm hungry all the time. That's my secret. So EQ is the first thing you would use. A compressor because sometimes it's nice to kind of even out the dynamics of your track a little bit more to give it that little bit of an extra push when it sits next to other commercial tracks on Spotify, for example. Um, Another thing you would use obviously at the end of I say obviously because there's a certain like kind of workflow for mastering in terms of your chain. So you generally want to keep your limiter, which is the last thing I'm talking about, at the end. And what a limiter is actually a really, really aggressive version of a compressor. So if you know what a compressor is, it compresses your sound to kind of even out your dynamics. What a limiter does is it limits your sound from pushing a certain level. So when it comes to getting your tracks louder and the whole loudness wars and all that kind of stuff, it comes from EQ compression and limiting actually. So like EQ to pull out frequencies that you don't need and keep in only the ones you really, really need to give you that extra space in the mix to push it louder with compression. So yeah, sometimes you might use a reverb in mastering as well. It depends on the situation. I've seen mastering engineers use reverbs. Sometimes they get a track that's just very, very dry, and your artist might be like, "Hey, I'm doing indie rock kind of stuff, and it's sounding a bit too much like a pop track or like indie pop." So I've seen mastering engineers put a very, very light, transparent reverb on the mastering chain and filter out frequencies that they don't want the reverb affecting. So, for example, you've got a rock track, right? You don't want your kick drum booming into a reverb unless you're making an 80s track, in which case, hey, that's freaking awesome. But sometimes you might not want that happening. And what they would do in this case is you put the EQ before your reverb and you pull out the low frequencies. So when it feeds the reverb, you've got more space in your track without muddying up certain like lower end and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, mastering is the stage that you're asking about. And the last thing you asked was, when do you know to stop tweaking? Ha 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 ha. That is the eternal question, Chloe. That is the question. When you find out, or when I find out, I'll let you know. How are you guys doing? It is so cool to see. Like, I thought there was gonna be three people here, uh, myself included. It's nice to see a few more faces. Well, I can't see your faces. I see YouTube telling me that there is 12 people here. So it's nice to see that number. Cool, we have another question. Okay. So mastering means using some kind of plugin or doing all those EQ and compression in the master channel. Great question, Alif. I'm glad you asked this one. Okay. So I'm gonna grab some water. Give me 1 second. Boy's thirsty. Been on quarantine for very long. Wow, I can't believe I just made that joke on stream. Disappointing. Okay. I hope you guys have had your dinner, by the way. Or if you're having dinner while watching this, I hope you're having a nice dinner. And I hope this is appetizing enough for your dinner. Okay, let's answer Alif's question. Does mastering mean using some kind of plugin, or does all those EQs and compressions happen on the master channel? Now, the way a mastering session works is you generally will either be working on a single track, like a single, meaning like the artist is releasing only a single and you're working on that single, or you're mastering an entire EP or album at the same time. Now, another thing about mastering and why in all these different tracks, and you need to find a way to get all those different tracks sounding even. So when you listen to your new mixtape in your car, for example, you don't need to reach over and turn up the volume for your second song, which is like a super slow acoustic ballad, because your first song was, like a really heavy hitting metal track, for example, and the second one's like suddenly super quiet. There's no bass, and it just doesn't sit nicely next to one another. So when you're mastering, you're gonna put all these tracks in one session, like right here in Ableton, for example. Okay, I'll just show you guys on the software itself. So just before I do that, I want to check in. You guys doing okay? I noticed that my stream had disconnected for a little while over there. I'm not sure if it had impacted anyone, but if you guys are experiencing any disconnections or dropouts with the stream, please let me know so I can try and address it, because I can't tell from this side. Okay? So, let's get right to this question, or finishing the rest of this question. So, right here on my yes, I did get DC'd. Hey. Is it okay now though? Okay, cool. Alrighty. So, right here in the software, I'm going to. Oh, shoot. Okay. It's okay now, though, right? If it's okay now, you haven't actually missed my explanation. I've got it coming. But is everything okay now? Yeah? I'll just wait for a double confirmation from you guys, and then I'll answer your question. So sorry for the technical difficulties, by the way, guys. Okay, cool. All right. So Okay, we're talking about mastering a single track. Now, in the case of a single track, what you want to be doing is actually processing on your audio track right here, like on the track itself. You can put stuff on the master channel if you want to, but generally, I don't tend to do this because of the fact that there's other things that I put onto the master channel, such as metering plugins, which are what a metering plugin is essentially if you've looked at any of those big digital consoles, they always have those lights that are green, yellow, and red, and it shows you your gain structure. And what metering plugins do is they give you these kind of meters, like the meters that you've seen peak hole meters and all these kind of things. And it essentially lets you monitor your audio a lot better in terms of how much compression you're putting onto it, how loud you're getting your track, what the loudness standard is for Spotify, and if your track is too loud for it, if it's not loud enough, all these different things. Hey Benson, good to see you, buddy. Okay, so that's generally one of the reasons you don't put things on your master and you want to put things on the audio track itself. Another reason you're going to be putting stuff on the audio track and not the master itself is when you're mastering more than one song, um, especially an EP or an album, you're going to have a few different songs that sound different and you're going to have to process them differently as well. So if you put something on your master, you're kind of affecting all of your tracks and you can't do things to individual tracks. So yeah, I would recommend putting all your effects onto the track itself, the one you're mastering, and keep your master channel clean. Um, the third reason you want to be doing this is because when you're mastering audio, you want to be using reference tracks. And reference tracks are basically, think of it this way, you're putting out a rock and roll song. Okay, so let's say I'm putting out a song that is similar to Linkin Park, for example, and I want to pick a reference track that is going to help my mastering engineer or myself if I'm doing my own mastering. It's going to help the mastering engineer kind of reach the sound that you're aiming for. That's why it's a reference track. So if you're putting out something that's sort of like a Linkin Park song, you want to send your mastering engineer or use a reference track that is a Linkin Park song or a band that's similar to Linkin Park or a song that's on a playlist that has music that is very similar to Linkin Park because you want to be getting onto these playlists when you put your song out, right? For example, you want the people listening to Linkin Park and the people listening to music like Linkin Park listening to your music, which is like Linkin Park. So mastering along to reference tracks that suit your genre and the sound you're going for is just going to make your master that much better. And so when you've got these reference tracks, you're going to be placing them in another track separately, right? Now, if you were to put all your processing onto your master channel, you're going to be processing your reference tracks as well, which is why you don't want to do that. So generally, just keep your mastering on your track that you're mastering specifically. Okay, I hope that answers your question. Oh, wow. This is very interesting, this whole streaming thing. And my iPad keeps thinking that I'm talking to it, so it keeps beeping and going, I'm sorry, I didn't quite understand what you were trying to say. I know you're listening, Apple. Hey, Taran, good to see you, buddy. Thank you for joining us. Okay, I will get to your question in a second. I think Josh asked me something slightly earlier. Um, Let me just go looking for it. And once again, Josh, no, you can't steal my synth. I'll let you collaborate with me on a track, and I will put that synth anywhere you want it. On your song, I mean. Get your mind out of the gutter. Oh, Josh, I can't find your question, buddy. Oh, there it is. Can you show how you mix vocals on Ableton? Okay, I later on in the session, I will open up the track that Baguette and I are working on, Therish, who is on the stream right now. I'm gonna be opening up that session just to kind of give you guys an idea of what a song that's already kind of in a 60 to 50%. Hey Umar, how's it going? Yeah, so I'm going to open up a song that we're working on, and I'll show you something that's kind of in like a 50 to 60% completed stage in terms of composition and sound design. So we'll get to that one a little bit later. I just want to give it a bit more time for a few more people to come on stream. I think a lot of people are having dinner right now, but I just wanted to get the stream rolling early at 7 o'clock just so I could get all the bugs out of the way, get this cup of coffee inside of me, and get talking with you guys and just, answering some light questions first before we really dive into the super Ableton stuff. But I will show you some cool stuff on Ableton anyway. Okay, we've got a question from Taran over here. What's good, buddy? You've been trying to make covers by adding backup vocals and mixing them, but you can't seem to make it sound right. Any tips for mixing and recording in this case? Okay, so backing vocals are what you're trying to do. Could you give me an example of what kind of genre you're trying to produce, bro? Because backing vocals are they're a whole other element to production by themselves, honestly. And I think backing vocals are something that can set a good song apart from a song that's going to really, really do well in a mainstream market. Because vocals are something that it's the human connection, right? There's a lot of articles about how the vocal is the most important element of any song, and it's true because it's what we connect to, right? And a lot of modern pop music and a lot of modern music in general, and even older styles of music, has always focused very heavily on vocal and vocal production. And backing vocals is the oldest trick in the book when it comes to shiny vocal production, because you're literally using your voice like an instrument and doubling it and getting all these cool effects. So if you want to just hop down there and answer what genre you're doing, I can give you a bit more of a specific kind of like answer on Ableton itself with some of the software. In the meantime, I will answer Alif's question. Also, how you guys doing? Please drop me some hellos in the chat so I can say hello to you. Okay, no worry. No worries. Thank you for letting me know, Hazwani. Please tell Hannah that I am wishing her the best and I really hope she feels okay soon. Okay, Darren, we've got your reply. A lot of his covers are just acoustic lo-fi beats. Okay, we'll come back to lo-fi beats for sure. A lot of my covers are just acoustic versions of song, be it hip hop or indie or R&B. Okay, so acoustic as in I'm gonna assume that you're talking about acoustic guitar and vocals, right? So, um, I think one of the things you could really try doing, first of all, is there's a few different layers that you would use when it comes to backing vocal production, and the most um, the most tried and tested technique that has kind of stood the test of time is obviously the double track. And what the double track is, wow, I say obviously a lot. I think it's because I watched the platform on Netflix. Anyway, what the double track does is it allows you to give any recording a bit more depth. Um, and the reason this happens is because you're adding a copy of your waveform. You're adding the exact same thing that's not completely the same as this waveform. Um, and the reason that it's not completely the same is because you're doubling it. You're singing it again, meaning you're singing your lead vocal part, and then you're doing a second take where with a different audio track, like a different audio track, for example, right? So on Ableton right there. Let's say you've recorded vocals here in an audio track. Okay, never mind. So let's say you've got some vocals going there, and if you want to double it, essentially what you do is go over here, pop over here, just make yourself another audio track, set it to the exact same input as your microphone because you're going to be recording your microphone again. And what you want to be doing is listening to your original recording, your original vocal take, right? Listen to that and sing along to that. So you wanna be getting your double take as close to your original vocal take as you can. And doing this is the best way to kind of achieve the thickest doubling technique. Um, but obviously, the more deviations in your voice you have compared to the original vocal track, the more loose the doubling is going to feel. And not to go into too much details on the physics of how the waveforms actually interact with each other destructively to cause phasing and all that kind of stuff. I'll summarize it. Essentially, think of it this way, right? Um, if you're putting two waveforms that are not completely the same together, you're causing weird stuff to happen because they're not exactly the same. But if you're putting two waveforms that are exactly the same, like you're copy and pasting the same thing onto a different track and just stacking them together, all you're doing is making it louder. You're just making it 3 decibels louder, if I'm not mistaken. 3 decibels. That's all you're doing. But when you add something that has a little bit of a difference to the original track, that's when you add that subtle amount of phasing and chorusing. And this chorusing effect is actually what you achieve when you're double tracking. So, double tracking, I think one of the first things you should try. It's it can be tricky to kind of nail the vocal exactly like your original vocal, but I think once you get the hang of it and once you get the hang of singing along to your own voice, doubling stuff becomes second nature to you. So yeah, that's the first thing to try. I'm gonna answer a few more questions and then I'm gonna jump back to your question, Taran, and give you a few more ideas on how you can improve your backing vocal production. Okay, so Hazwani wants to know a bit more about lo-fi beats. Oh yes, my favorite topic, lo-fi beats. Okay, lo-fi beats is not actually my favorite topic. I have a lot of favorite topics, but it's one of them. Um, I'm not sure exactly what you would like to know about lo-fi beats, so if you'd like to give me a slightly more specific question, that would be awesome. But what I can tell you, if you want to know about lo-fi beats, is that a lot of lo-fi music, lo-fi hip hop, lo-fi house, it comes from sampling music. So what this means is you're using pre-recorded parts of audio, pianos or guitars or drums, anything really, and you're cutting up these samples in Ableton itself, like Ableton Live itself. You're chucking them in here, and you're cutting them up, and you're making a drum pattern or anything out of it. So that's one of the most important things about the lo-fi style. It's sampling, and there is a wealth of knowledge to be found on sampling. Honestly, it's an entire art form and discipline by itself. I I recommend okay, so Hazwani, since you asked this question, right? So in the first lesson, I actually taught you about using drum samples to create drum beats. Now, all you need to do to get a lo-fi drum beat is use the exact same technique of here. I'll show it to you guys. Okay, let's make a little a little spicy lo-fi drum beat. Okay, so I do have a MIDI keyboard over here, but I'm not going to use it because of the fact that there is quite a bit of latency when I'm streaming. I haven't quite worked out all of the kinks of it yet. I can play in these parts by hand on the keyboard, but I'm not going to because it's honestly going to waste a bit of time because I'm going to have to like play parts in, not really nail it, get frustrated, quantize, edit. Blah, 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 blah. We don't need to do that. So I'm just gonna show you guys how to do this without any gear with your mouse and keyboard because it's 2020 and you can do that now. Go figure, right? Isn't the future amazing? Okay, so let's make a lo-fi drum pattern. And for that, I need coffee. If you guys are into this, into making lo-fi drum pattern, please, tell me if this is a good idea, if this is a terrible idea and we shouldn't be covering lo-fi. Tell me and I'll shorten this. Okay, lo-fi beats. Let's do this. Okay, so what I'm gonna start off with is I want you guys to tell me how many of you actually are familiar with Ableton Live? I know there's a few people in here who are actual Ableton Live users. You guys make amazing beats and amazing music. Well, beats and same thing. But I know there's a lot of first-time users here. I know there's people who have just downloaded the software. Yeah, tell me what your experience is like with Ableton. Yeah, while I fix my mic boom arm that I accidentally unscrewed. Give me a second. I have no idea how I did this. Da, 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 da. Okay, cool. It's working. It's working. It's working. Okay, cool. Aha. And I think I've disconnected again. Have I? Nope. We're good. Okay. Ah, VSTs and their importance. Hello, Enter the Void. Good to have you guys here. Looking forward to your stream later on. What is your take on VSTs and their importance? Okay, I'll come to this one in a second. I've missed a couple questions, guys. I'm sorry. Let me just go back and answer some of these real quick. Okay, having difficulties creating drum patterns. Sometimes it feels too full, other times it feels too empty. Any tips on drawing slick drum line and variations through a strong structure? Okay, okay, when it comes to drums, I think that it really helps to, first of all, identify what you're trying to do with your groove. Like, what is your song trying to achieve? What emotion are you trying to portray? Because the drums will either need to be aggressive enough or loose enough or subdued enough to suit your song as a whole. So a problem that a lot of producers, even myself, struggle with, especially beginning, like when you're first starting off, is that when you're going in and drawing in drum patterns, it's really easy to kind of just put as many notes as you can on the screen. Like just go in there and just yeah, just all of the hi-hats, all of them. Like I need 6 shakers on this track. It's easy to go there because we're working with digital audio and hey Ash, good to see you, buddy. Because we're working with digital audio and it's so easy to kind of just keep the tracks coming and adding to them. So I think one thing you could try when programming drums is actually to maybe play in some of your drums. So like something that I tend to do these days is if I personally I tend to play in almost all of my drums if I can help it. I only really click and program certain things if I'm going for very rapid glitch style effects or if I'm sampling something. And even when I'm sampling, I tend to like to slice it up and put it onto my beat pads, which I will show you guys in a little bit, actually. My mic is clipping a little bit, I think, so I'm just gonna turn it down a touch. Cool. Okay, so I think one of the things you could try first of all is thanks, Ash. Hey, Madan. It's good to see you. Very, very good to see you. Welcome to the stream. Okay, so one of the first things you could try is go and play in some of your drums. Like when you're trying to make a house pattern, for example, you could go and click your kicks in, but try playing your snares in. Like, okay, cool. Since we're talking about building drum patterns, and Haswani wanted to know about lo-fi drums, I will show you guys something cool that I am actually working on that I plan to give to you guys for free very soon. So over here in my drum library, I don't know if you guys know this, but I actually started my journey in music as a drummer. I started with the tablas first, and I only recently fell in love with the tabla again because I used to kind of push it aside with the stigma of it's so not cool. Like, oh, it's only meant for, ethnic or Indian music, and that is so wrong. I think being able to bring percussions or sounds from any genre of music is honestly the first step to getting that futuristic drum sound, because go listen to any hey Josh, go listen to any artist that you like right now who has released anything, electronic artist who's released anything in the last year or two. There is, I guarantee you, at least one found sound percussion or drum in there. And when I mean found sound, I mean something that was just recorded, like that is not a percussion, like a key or a table being tapped or a box of screws or just something weird. And this level of adding just weird shit and ideas into your productions is one of the quickest ways to get sounding original. And it's personally something I like to use a lot in my music. And yes, Zakir Hussain is amazing. Amazing. One of my biggest influences. You guys should check him out. He's really cool. Lo-fi tabla beat is going to happen. I've got my tablas back there. I can show you guys later if you'd like. But let's build a house beat. I'm getting sidetracked. Okay. I'm going to show you guys how to build a simple lo-fi house beat using a drum kit that I've made for you guys. If you're an Ableton user, you can download this as a drum rack, meaning it shows up like this. Oh, where did it go? Let me type in my name, Natuno. There we are. Okay, so I've made a drum kit, which is a Ableton drum kit, meaning it's got all the sounds in a drum rack. So you can play them via MIDI or with a MIDI keyboard or with the MIDI keyboard that is actually built into your computer. And I'm not sure if you guys know this, but here's a super, hey Benson, I know what you're trying to do, bro. Yes, Benson has tried the rack and he seems to like it. I'm glad you like it, dude. It's my first time building a rack, but I'll go into that for in a second. What I want to show you guys is actually this thing over here. If you can see, I'm kind of like madly flourishing my mouse in the top right corner of my screen. And what I'm doing is, you see this little fella that just went on? That button right there, what it does is it turns on your keyboard as a MIDI keyboard. So like your laptop keyboard, check out Nadir Music and they have, yes, Nadir Music is awesome. Thank you, Swit. You can use your laptop keyboard to actually play in all these sounds like a MIDI keyboard. So in this sense, I've got my drum kit loaded up, right? You guys can hear it. Now, these are all sounds that came from my PSS 51, which is the keyboard that I used for all the drums on my latest video on Instagram. Go check that out if you guys haven't already. It's also on my YouTube channel over here, and you can check it out. So I basically built a drum kit for Ableton Live that uses all the samples from the house kit on my keyboard. So this keyboard that I have has these little Okay, I'll just grab it and show it to you guys real quick. Okay, where are we? There we are. Okay. If you can see this, well, you should be able to see this, I hope. um, but there's these little blue pads that are underneath the keys of the keyboard itself. And these blue pads are drum pads. And okay, so this is a nifty little keyboard from 19. I'm gonna put it down. Give me a second, guys. I don't want to hold it. Okay, so that's a little keyboard, big boy, not very little. That's a big boy from 1982, if I'm not mistaken. Oh no, actually no, he's from 1992. The 1982 one is a different one. I'll show that to you later. But this 1992 Yamaha keyboard has those little blue pads underneath the keys itself. And what these blue pads are is they're different drum kits, okay? So there's 9 different drum kits that you can load onto those pads because this keyboard is actually it's a AWM sampler. It's a yeah, it was a very lucky find. And these keyboards are out there. I am honestly partially worried that as I keep talking about them and I do plan to continue making videos about them, they might start getting snatched up and bought and their prices might go higher. I don't know. Maybe it's wishful thinking. But if you want one of these, go get them now. Seriously, go get them now. So this keyboard is a sampler, meaning it's got sounds that are already preloaded onto it as wave samples. And what I did for you guys was I sampled all of the sounds from the house kit. So if you can hear, you've got the snare, the kick, the shaker, the hat, a little tom there, tambourine, low tom, and a triangle. Okay? So these are all sounds that are actually from that keyboard, and I've sampled them and put them into an easy to use drum rack for you guys that you can play in with your keyboard or with your computer keyboard when you hit that button in the top right corner and it when you hit that button in the top right corner, it turns on your I don't know if you guys can see this. Hang on. Okay. La da da. Almost there. Okay. So as you can see, it actually turns on the like ability to trigger your sounds from sorry, wrong button. What it does is it turns on the ability to play your sounds from your keyboard itself. Okay? Now this applies for anything. So it's actually mapping out your 25, not 25 keys, it's mapping out 1 octave of your keyboard onto these keys instead. Okay? So super handy. If you guys don't have a MIDI keyboard or anything like that, you should really check out that button in the top right corner and turn it on because it's a great way to play in some of your drums without needing a MIDI keyboard or anything like that if you don't want to draw it in. So let's get to making this beat. Now, Benson was talking about hitting him with the bit. So the bit is actually a bit crusher. And what I did for this kit was I wanted to put my own little Nettuno spin onto this keyboard. A keyboard and a keyboard. It is a keyboard and a keyboard. I need to go and read all of your live chat in a little bit. I've been looking at Ableton, so I don't know what you guys are saying just yet, but I'll get to you in a second. So what I did was I wanted to give you guys a little piece of my keyboard because this shit is pretty hard to find. So I've sampled the house kit for you, and I've built a little effects engine or effects module into it. And that's what you see here on the left, okay? So you'll see these top four settings, sub, low, mid, and high. They are essentially macro controls for a multi-band compressor, okay? So I'm not going to go too in depth about what a multi-band compressor is and all that kind of stuff, but it's a compressor that works on different frequencies. So because of that, I've been able to make a macro for you guys where you can actually distort these different frequencies, okay? And I'll show you that once we start making a beat, and I'll go into those different effects modules later as well. So let's make a lo-fi house beat. Without further ado, I'm so sorry, I've been sidetracking. Okay, cool. So when starting off with a house beat, I think one of the easiest kind of ways to get started, obviously, is with your wow, I really need to stop saying obviously, is with your forward to the floor kick pattern, which basically involves a okay, we're just gonna loop that a couple times. Right? So the shortcut I was using for this was selecting all of it and just Control D. Okay? So if you notice, when you open up the drum rack, it sits on a MIDI track. Okay? So with this MIDI track, you've got to create a MIDI clip on the track itself or record MIDI information in. So the way that I created a MIDI clip earlier was selecting an area and Control Shift and M, and that's the macro. I mean, that's the keyboard shortcut for just making a MIDI track real quick. Okay. Thanks, Josh. Okay, so let's start off with our straight kick. Let's make it groove a little bit because I'm brown and I like to groove. Oh no, that's a bit Feng. Though I love Feng as well. I'm also pretty yellow. So I'm trying to go for a da 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 da. Okay, cool. So we're just gonna work with that pattern for now because I don't wanna take up too much time just getting lost in this because I want to show you guys the macros for the effects. Okay, so we'll just program in. Wow, the latency is really bad. Okay, so I'm just gonna draw in all these parts. Let's go for the off time hat. Yeah, cool. Oh, wrong keyboard shortcut right there. Okay, Control D. Ooh. Let's turn on looping. Okay, so now we've got a little bit of house pattern kind of going. Now, I'm gonna add in okay, I'm gonna play in some shakers using my keyboard, okay? So since we've programmed in the kick and snare by clicking, one of the things you can do to humanize this is actually by going in here, clicking on, when you click on these different parts, it does preview the sound if you turn on this headphone thing over here. Turn that on, and when you click on these, it actually previews the sounds. And what you can do is click on it, and it highlights all the notes in that specific channel. As you can see, all my kicks have been highlighted. I'm going to Control and mouse wheel in to zoom in. And I'm just going to, because I've got everything highlighted, I'm just going to click and drag everything ever so slightly behind the beat. It's a tiny little move, tiny little thing. But when you start to do this to all of your different drum layers at different timings, you kind of give it a little bit of that humanized drummer feel where nothing's exactly completely sitting on the beat. And this is something that's really important for lo-fi genres of music. And let's do the same for the hats, okay? So I'm gonna swing the hats like slightly more. See, so like that, right? That compared to this. It's a slight difference. It's a very slight difference, but it gives you a bit more of that swing, okay? So let's record some shakers in. I'm just going to record the shakers in with my keyboard because I want to show you guys how playing in certain parts and programming some certain parts can really give you an interesting dynamic for what you're trying to do when you're programming drum beats in Ableton. So I'm going to press the plus button over here on the top next to the record button because this plus button basically allows me to overdub parts onto this MIDI clip. Meaning, when I hit record now, it's anything that I play in is going to be added to the MIDI clip instead of when I hit record, everything on the MIDI clip gets wiped clean because it's doing a new recording. So that plus button, very important, guys. Cool. Everyone doing okay so far? I hope you guys are enjoying this. Shit's about to get slightly wicked once I show you what the effects module does. I'm almost there. Okay, let's record these shakers in. Okay, so I'm just gonna quantize that slightly. Okay, that was not slightly. Let's go for a lower quantization, something around 6%. Yep. Cool. Nice. So we've got a little simple house beat going. Let's add some toms in there, I guess. Bum, bum. Cool. So I just added some toms in there. I did the toms by hand, so you can, and I'm not going to quantize those toms at all. YouTube's not receiving enough video to maintain smooth streaming. Oh, okay. You guys are going to have some buffering difficulties according to what YouTube is telling me. So just keep me updated in the chats if the connection's really bad or anything like that, okay? In the meanwhile, let's keep working on this drum beat. So I recorded in that tom pattern that goes bum bum, and I haven't quantized it. So I think this is one of the things that you could do. Record certain things in by hand, program certain things in, and move them around with your mouse and keyboard. In terms of velocity, since you ask, one of the things that drummers do is we play a lot of ghost notes. And what ghost notes are is basically they're little articulations that are notes that sit on sixteenths and broken sixteenths, and they kind of just they help you layer your groove a little bit better. And let me see if it's a bit hard for me to kind of demonstrate this without a keyboard that I can play the part into with low latency because it's a bit of a technical kind of thing, but I will try my best and edit it. Okay, I'm just gonna add that tambourine in to kind of give it a bit of a backbeat. How do you remove the velocity settings from pressing a key on my MIDI? Okay, velocity settings are basically over here. Benson, to answer your question, I am using SEO for all, but it's still giving me a little bit of like it's enough latency for it to kind of throw me off a little bit when I'm trying to record. But it's no matter. Don't worry about it. Okay, Josh, to answer your question, if you want to get rid of velocity on any of these drums, you go to this thing over here. So like select your sample, like your kick, for example, like you'll notice that it's got dynamic to it right now. Like if I hit it slightly softer, it's, like louder, it's louder. When you turn this, when you turn this all the way down, you always get it at the loudest volume. Okay? Right on. Oof. Okay. Let me just have a quick look at my buffer settings. Okay, let's see here. Let's turn this down. Okay, so I had tried turning this down to 256 earlier, but I was getting quite a bit of audio dropout and stuff. Let's see if we're having that issue. Yeah, okay, it's kind of dropping out. It's okay. We'll continue with just 512. It's fine. I'll show you guys how to do this kind of stuff with your mouse and keyboard and your laptop keyboard, because not everyone has a MIDI keyboard, am I right? So, okay, let's just put that last tambourine onto the downbeat. I'm sorry, onto the offbeat on this loop, and then I'm gonna mess around with the effects a little bit so you guys get an idea of what it is. Thank you, Olive. It's seriously, it's awesome to have you guys here with me. It's my first time doing this. Benson here is a seasoned pro. He's been doing quite a few streams, and he is currently also doing professional streams and teaching. So go check him out on social media and stuff, guys. Seriously, Benson's a champion, and he is the person who helped me fix this last night. Like, he's the one who helped me out with getting this entire audio thing sorted, because it had stumped me 2 nights ago. And yeah, thanks, Benson. Thank you for helping me settle it yesterday. Okay, I'm literally taking a lot of notes. Oh. Um. Sorry, Adam. What were you saying the issue was? Yeah. Let me see if I can help you with that. I'm not sure what you were referring to. In fact, let me just get caught up on the chat real quick, guys, because I've missed a few things from you beautiful people. Just to answer you, Cairo, if you're still here, I hope you're still here, Cairo. My take on VSTs and their importance. I honestly think that VSTs are quite important, but you shouldn't kind of rely on them to be your entire shtick. Like the VST shouldn't be your sound. It's understanding of the VST that is your sound. So what I mean by this is compressors, right? Or okay, no, let's take distortion. So distortion is an effect that you can use on a lot of different things, and I think it comes and there's a lot of different distortion VSTs and units and hardware units and all this kind of stuff out there. But I think the best distortion is the one you know how to use, because then you know how to achieve that sound that you're going for. It doesn't really matter if you have a really cool plugin, but you're kind of only using the presets on it. Because honestly, I will tell you, that's what I did in my first few months of getting into producing stuff electronically and producing with Ableton. I just went on this massive binger on downloading all the free VSTs that I could find. Anything that was going for free, I would just grab and not really learn how to use, but just slap presets on everything. And I found that it was great to begin with because it helped me experiment with sound design and reverse engineer some of these sounds. But I think what I did this year, which was go in and scale back my entire plugin collection. Like I went in and deleted everything that I wasn't using or didn't know how to use. Um, Obviously not the stuff I've paid for, because I do buy my own VSTs. I think it's important that you buy your VSTs, and this is a complicated topic. The whole like, should you buy Ableton? Should you buy your VSTs? You can actually, God forbid, pirate a lot of this stuff if you know how to. And man, that's up to you. I totally understand why you would, because this shit's expensive. But I think what changed me as a producer 2 years ago, and I'm being completely honest with you, I bought Ableton, and that investment of putting the money into buying it, my iPad still thinks I'm trying to talk to it. Oh my God, please, I'm not trying to talk to you. Um, that investment of putting down the money to buy Ableton 10 Suite, um, it it really forced me to kind of want to learn Ableton itself. Like, not just how to use it. Like, I knew how to use it, but I didn't know how to use all the plugins in it. I didn't know all the nifty little hidden features about it. I didn't know all the shortcuts. I didn't care because it was just there, Like, I had it and I could make music with it. So it was there. But when I bought it, it's like buying an instrument, okay? I know you guys can relate to this because most of you are instrumentalists here. And think of it this way, okay? When you've got uh, an instrument that you're borrowing from a friend, I don't think you're ever going to really feel that drive the same way as if you spent your money on something that you really like. Like, you bought an instrument that you find visually appealing, you find really fun to play, and you spent that money. Like, spending that money, you're gonna wanna play it because it's gonna sit there in your room and you're gonna look at it and feel guilty. When you like put it in the corner and you boot up fucking, I don't know, Call of Duty to play Call of Duty instead of practice your guitar. You feel bad because you just spent 5K on your Fender and it's sitting there collecting dust. And I think Ableton should be treated like an instrument because, guys, it's 2020 and the digital audio workstation, it's an instrument now. The studio is an instrument, and that's the way that our future is going. That's just where it's going. And so when it comes to VSTs, I don't actually think it's important to go out and buy your VSTs or even care about collecting VSTs and free VSTs. I think it's a bit more important to just that you have now. And once you learn that, you can look at the stuff that's free or that you want to actually put money down and buy because you'll already know how to use them because they all behave the same. They're just designed differently and skinned differently and they do slightly different things, you know? So I hope that answers your question, Cairo. Um, I do. I personally, I love my VSTs. I've bought a whole bunch of them, and I bought a whole bunch of them because I use them for work. I can go through and show you what I've bought and what I think is worth buying. I can give you some tips on that if you guys like. If you want, let me know in the live chat and we'll talk about it. Okay, let's move on with the questions. Holy crap, we've been going for an hour and 20 minutes, guys. This is crazy. Okay, I'm just reading back on the messages from earlier. Can't wait for a collab. Hell yeah, Cairo. Let's do it, buddy. Let's do it. I would love to make some music with you. Ah. Madan, to answer your question, I'm not sure if you're still here, buddy, but if you are still here, yes, you mentioned you were wondering about that keyboard. It was actually something that I found on muda.my. It was at a pre-love store in Kelantan, and the lady who was selling it, super sweet lady, she was kind enough to send me videos and just pictures of it for me to make sure that it's in really good condition. And I think for the price that I paid for it, it's something that was a really fortunate find. And I have noticed that a lot of these synths can be found on Carousel right now, specifically these two little fellows. The VL1, this can be found on Carousel. Okay, you will definitely find one or two of these. They generally sit between the 100 to 300 mark, depending on your seller and how good the condition is. I was, once again, fortunate in this sense because I got something that was in good condition and came with the manual and the original vinyl sleeve and all that kind of stuff. But yeah, the PSS 51, which is the bigger one, which is the one that has the drums for this drum kit that I've made for you lovely people, and I am going to be sharing with you guys. Um, this thing is from 1992, and it's actually a sampler. So it's not a synthesizer. It doesn't make any sounds, but it's got onboard memory. It's got 100 different sounds on it and 100 different accompaniments on it. So this was a part of Yamaha's Sound series back in the 80s and 90s, where they were trying to make toy keyboards for kids and stuff like that. And what I like about these Sound keyboards, and what a lot of people love about them around the world, is the fact that you can put batteries in them. They're portable and they've got speakers as well. So they kind of, if you're someone who likes weird and old sounds, this is honestly a much better investment than going out and buying a super expensive synth, because it just drips lo-fi goodness. Honestly, you can mic up the speakers on it if you really want that lo-fi cabinet sound. You can plug it in. It's got this beautiful vector synth on it, which is not really a synth, but what it is it's a little joystick styled stylus that lives on the top left corner of the synthesizer. And this joystick basically can move between 4 planes, right? Like a joystick. So the joystick moves up, down, left, and right, and you can assign sounds up, down, left, and right. So you can pick 4 different sounds that are on this synthesizer and assign them to these different sides. And you can use the joystick to blend between these sounds. So you can essentially create a multi or a pad or a stack of instruments using the vector synthesizer, where you pick your 4 favorite sounds and you blend them based on where you put the joystick. And you can play that on the keyboard. And that was something that I didn't actually notice was on the keyboard until Thirish Glazed Baguette pointed it out to me when he came over and had a look at it, and he was like, "What's this over here? This is amazing." And I was like, "Yeah, it's got great sounds and stuff, but what is this?" And I looked at it and I was like, "Holy freaking shit! I paid way too little for this thing." Okay, let's answer some more questions. Okay, guys, I am going to need to take a really quick potty break. So, if you don't mind, I will be right back. Just give me 2 minutes. And if you guys need to go grab some water, if you need to use the loo, anything like that, now's your chance. I will catch you in a second. And we're back. Hello, guys. Hope everyone's doing okay. You guys good? Yes, Apple is listening. And Adam, I am glad that this information is useful to you, buddy. I'm glad to be helping someone out there. It's good to feels good, man. Feels good to help. Sound technical to some again, but I just need to ask. Let's say if I got all the arrangement and mix is all good, how do I know my finished song is in line with the standard mix or frequency? Is there a benchmark on decibel or hertz to the total spectrum of the song? Just wondering why I don't have that full dynamics balance feel like a mainstream track. Mainstream track. Maybe it's my mix. Okay, Alif, it is definitely your mix. So the way you address this is with reference tracks, like I mentioned before. So you're asking if there is a like a benchmark or a kind of like a standard for you to compare your mix to, and that's exactly what a reference track is. A reference track is a track that is your goal. Like that's the sound you want to achieve. Maybe it has the kind of kick you're looking for. Maybe it has the kind of drum sound you're looking for. You pick that as your reference track and you keep it in your session while you're mixing, and you keep listening to that track while you're making changes to your mix. So sorry, you make sure that specific elements of your song match your reference track. So like if you're making a track that is a dance song, you might want to pick three reference tracks that one is your reference for what you want your mix to sound like, one's your reference for what you want your master to sound like, and one is just literally a reference for the sound design that is on the song. These are all things you can use. And so yeah, your benchmark that you're asking about is reference tracks. And so if you're having this issue, it's something that you need to change in the mix, because like Benson just mentioned, mastering can make a big difference, definitely. But if it's not sounding good in the mix, you can't fix it in the master. It just you can't polish something that is flawed. And so it's easy. Come on. Yeah. Okay. Cool. All right. We should be reconnected. Let me know when it's reconnected and you guys can see me again. I apologize for the issues. This has been happening with my internet off and on since the RMO happened. And yeah, I will try and fix this before the next time I do the stream again. So we'll wait for everyone to come back in once it's reconnected. Hey guys. Hello. Hello, hello, hello. We'll just wait for a few more people to reconnect. And yeah, if anyone else has questions, please go ahead. Yeah, so Alif, what Benson is trying to tell you is that if you're referring to just how loud the track is sounding and how hard it's smacking the speakers, and not really referring to how well mixed your different frequencies and stuff like that are, yeah, mastering is where your loudness and all this kind of stuff comes from, like getting your tracks sounding loud next to other commercial tracks. That's in mastering. You can do this in mixing, but generally it's best to leave that kind of heavier compression to your mastering engineer. Hi guys, welcome back. Welcome back. Welcome back. My apologies for disconnecting. I don't know if you caught what I said earlier, but since the start of this RMO or MCO, my internet has been kind of on the fritz, and so I have had to give up video games, which is why I'm being so productive. No worries, Alif. No worries. And yes, reference tracks are your best friend. Use them when you're mixing, use them when you're mastering. Super handy, save you a lot of time. Okay, how do I England? Cannot Sampling question. Oh yes, a sampling question. Fuck me up, fam. How would you go about mixing samples for hip hop beats? Trying to create an airy, dark sort of atmosphere to rap, sing over, but oh yes, yes. I like this question. Rap, sing over, but so as to not have the sample overshadow the vocals. My man, I have got I have got the solution for you. Okay, so I will give you an answer that's not very FL Studio specific. But before I answer your question, I want to show you guys what the effects sound like on this drum kit that I've made for you. Would you guys like that? Please type in yes. Please type in yes. I'm so I worked so hard on this. Okay, so let's go back to our beat that we were playing earlier. Okay. Yes, I shall do the thing. Nice. So we've got our house beat. It's going pretty okay. You know, it's got all the things you usually use in your standard house beat. But here's where this effects chain is different. Now, I'm going to start off with the compressor section on the top, okay? Now, the way that I made this drum kit was so that it's going to give you a feel of a retro keyboard, but it's going to knock on a laptop. It's going to knock in 2020. Like you're going to feel it on your speakers. That's what I wanted to do. I wanted to be able to give you a little piece of my sound. What I like doing is taking retro sounds and kind of giving them a future edge and vibe and polish. And so I've done that with this drum kit, okay? So I'm going to play it back for you, and I'm just going to start playing around with the settings on this thing. And if you guys like it, please tell me. So yeah, ooh, hang on, I'm getting some buzzing. That's probably from the 8-bit. So this effects module basically does that. It makes your stuff sound fat as shit, or at least I hope. I hope it does. It is a combination of different effects that I've programmed by hand for you guys. And essentially, the top section over here is a multi-band compressor, like I mentioned before. This wideness setting basically gives you a little bit of that special Netuno sauce. Okay, what this means is I'm going to solo out the shaker, the hats, the tambourine, and the toms. Okay, so watch what happens when I right, okay. Just gonna bring down some of these mids and stuff so it's not so harsh. Alright, so now watch what happens when I use the wideness setting. Now, if you're using speakers or headphones, it will be a lot easier to hear this. If you're watching this on a phone device or maybe laptop speakers, it might be a little tougher to notice this effect. I'm not completely sure. I tried to make it where it's noticeable on slightly smaller speakers as well, like laptops. But yeah, essentially what it's doing is I've got a macro here that applies this thing called the Haas effect. And what the Haas effect is, it's a principle of physics where when you hear two different sounds from two different directions that are within 30 milliseconds of each other, your brain perceives only the first sound. Okay? So, meaning the direction that you feel like it's coming from is from the first sound. So if I were to snap here and then snap there like that, really quick, within 30 milliseconds of each other, you would hear it from this one first, because your brain will do that. And this wideness thing uses that principle. It's a macro that works only on the tracks I've selected, so not on the kick and the snare. It works on all the percussions and stuff like that to make them wider, essentially. And yeah, this is something I like to use in my productions, and I would like to give it to you guys. Okay, so yeah, that's the Natuno house kit. I am actually going to be making all of the drum kits on the PSS 51 available soon. I am not completely certain on how I plan to deliver them in what format, but I thought I'd start off by just giving you guys this free drum rack. And if you're not an Ableton user, don't worry, I will send you the WAV files for these drums as well as my little present to you since you're here with me on this stream. All I ask is that you hit that like button and subscribe. Oh my gosh, I'm a YouTuber now. Ugh. The effect is derived from the Haas effect. So if you'd like to read further on that, I'm gonna type in Haas effect, and you can search this on Google. And there's quite a bit of extra information on what the Haas effect is and how it works. But yeah, this wideness setting, this wideness macro that I've programmed into the drum kit takes advantage of the Haas effect, essentially, to give you a wider clap image or a wider hi-hat, a wider tambourine. Okay? So yeah, if you would like a copy of this drum kit, drop me a DM on Instagram, and I will leave my I'll leave my Instagram handle down below. Drop me a DM on Instagram. Follow me if you're not already, and I will send it to you on your email. Okay? Cool. Shameless self-promotion. Dab, 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 dab. Okay, guys, so how are you all feeling tonight? We all good? I've got 20 minutes left to this stream because I have a studio session to get to with Mr. Glazed Baguette. I'm not sure if you are still here, Mr. Glazed Baguette, in this chat. If you are, please say something. But yeah, we're working on some new music together, and we are also currently scoring for a very, very interesting project, a short film. And yeah, so I've got 20 more minutes here with you guys. If you have any other questions, please fire away. In the meantime, I am going to load up another song to play for you guys. In fact, the one I'm going to load up is the one that Glazed Baguette and I are working on together right now. And yeah, we'll let you guys have a listen. Give me some feedback on what you think about the song. Yeah, let me just get that going. How are you guys feeling tonight? How's everyone dealing with the MCO and being inside and everything? You guys doing good? Once again, I'd really like to thank you for joining me tonight on the stream. It's I've wanted to do this kind of content for a very, very long time now, to be honest with you, and I never got around to it because I was always so busy with just production work and running an events company and just always being not able to really set aside time to build this digital content. And yeah, I think this is a great opportunity for me to be able to help a lot of you guys with what you're trying to do for your music goals and passion. And I am really, really happy and privileged that I am able to help you. I honestly am trying to turn this into a living. Um, Now that the things are the way they are, we've halted all events for Abstract Nature, which is the events company that I run with some of my friends who are also on this chat here. Now, having had to cancel all of our plans for the rest of the year, I am an audio freelancer, meaning I do this for a living. It's not the easiest job in the world. There's a lot of glamour that surrounds it in other people's opinions because it seems like something that's really fun to do, and it is very, very fun to do, and it feels very, very rewarding. But it's tough in this industry, and it's even tougher now, as it is the same for everybody who's going through this MCO. So guys, I feel you. Um, I'm trying to turn this whole digital content thing into something full time. And tonight's live stream is actually my prototype for kind of getting an idea for what you guys want and what you're trying to learn. And eventually, I really kind of want to move on to a platform such as Patreon, where I can start bringing you content that's personalized to you, one-on-one lessons, live streams, free sample packs, just all this good stuff for all of you who are looking to get into producing music more actively and more efficiently. So yeah, thank you again for joining the stream. Let me go through these messages. Today was surprisingly hot, Ash. I feel you, bro. Darren, the lockdown is testing your sanity, is it? Are you still playing Overwatch, bro? Darshan, yes, I'm so sorry I missed your question. It's a damn good question. I will come back to it in a second. Thank you for reminding me, buddy. Lucky got live streaming for music entertainment. I agree. We are very lucky that a lot of us in the industry are coming out and just putting on these great pieces of content. Enter the Void is doing a live stream after this at 10 o'clock. Good friend of mine, Alif, is currently streaming on Drum Asia. He started at 7, the same time we started. I had no idea. I wouldn't have put this the same night as him if I had known. But yeah, there's a lot of great content out there right now, guys, by a lot of talented Malaysians, and we really want to give you this content, and it would be so awesome if you could support us to do this because it's it's tough hanging on to creativity right now in terms of a living because of the situation, but seeing that there's a lot of people who are willing to kind of support us and listen to our new ideas and get on board with these new ideas. It means a lot to all of us creatives out here. So seriously, thank you guys. Hazwani, the MCO is making you very anxious, is it? I feel you, yeah. It's making me extremely anxious as well about a lot of things, but we're all in the same boat, and I think we're all feeling it together. So, guys, let's pull together. Swit is still continuously working on multiple projects. Well, Swit, what else is new, right? Darshan's having cabin fever. I will teach you how to make some pads for yourself so you can make your cabin fever productive in a moment. Ash says, yes, Patreon. And I says, yes, Ash, thank you. Thank you so much. You're one of the reasons that I am sitting here doing this right now. Thank you for the encouragement and support, buddy. Hope your event company doing good. Ice is awesome. Thank you, bro. The events company is I don't want to say not doing good. I we'll just say the events industry here and around the world is on lockdown right now. So yeah. uh, Diamond tier one-on-one sesh. Ah, fuck off. Check out Abstract Nature on SoundCloud and Bandcamp. Yes, guys, check Abstract Nature out on SoundCloud and Bandcamp because this is where we release content weekly. We release DJ mixes, mixtapes, all kind of good shit on our SoundCloud. You can check it out. Swit, if you can help me, just link it in the chat so everyone can check it out. We've also got a Bandcamp where we've started selling our own music. Glaze Baguette's new EP is on there as well, if you guys want to check it out. We've set it onto a pay what you want model. So what this means is you can pay whatever you want for our music. The reason that we set it where you could pay what you want is if you want to support us right now when we're making basically no income because there's no events, you can buy our music. Instead of asking for just a donation or something like that, we thought it'd be great to offer you guys our digital products. So yeah, go and check it out on Bandcamp. Pay whatever you want. If you don't want to pay anything for it and download it for free, hey man, I'm not gonna judge. Thank you for your support anyway, you know. Okay. Darn, I don't play games, I only get played. Oof. Buddy. I'm just gonna chuck a F up in the chat real quick. Just real nice and quick. Okay. Add me on Facebook and Instagram, fellow producers. Yes, guys, check out Aleph. Aleph is an aspiring music producer from KL, and he's an all-around sweet dude. And yeah, go check out his shit, man. Let's support each other, guys. Seriously, let's support the hell out of each other. Darshan, I am getting to your question about pads in a bit. Natuno, do you provide any mixing or mastering services? Yes, my friend, I do, and I could use the work. I do have mixing and mastering services. Drop me a DM on Instagram, and I'll send you my rate card, okay? Okay, IG Abstract Nature, yes. We just hit 500 likes for Abstract Nature on Facebook. Thank you guys so much for that. Seriously, it is surreal, surreal, surreal. Okay, let's play some music for you people. Who else is still in the chat? I can't actually check who exactly is on here. I think I'm trying to look for it, but I don't I don't want to fiddle with this too much just in case I mess something up and the stream dies. So I don't want to do that. There we go, participants. Okay, cool. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, it doesn't show a few people, but Alif, Ashwin, Darshan, Marie, Swit, Nadia, Natuno, and Taran. What is up? What is up? How is it going, guys? Okay. So in the last 10 minutes that I've got with you people, I'm going to answer Darshan's question real quick, and then I will show you some music that we're working on, and then we'll call it a night. Sounds good, guys? Yeah. Loading up some music for my friend. Let's see here. Okay, Darshan, to answer your question, buddy. There he is. There's the baguette. There is the baguette. Oh my gosh, we've hit 115 subscribers on the Natuno YouTube. Thank you guys so much for subscribing. I really appreciate it. And seriously, share it with your friends who you think will appreciate this kind of content because I plan to start doing these kind of streams and videos consistently. I'm actually already working on my next video for my YouTube, and it's going to happen every week. So guys, please subscribe. I'd really appreciate that. Shout out to my boy Ashwin Joseph in the chat for pointing that out. I appreciate it. Okay, so Darshan, to come to your question of let's scroll up and find the question. Sampling question. How would you go about mixing samples for hip-hop beats? Trying to create an airy, dark, soft atmosphere to rap, sing over, but as to not have the sample overshadow the vocals. Okay, so my friend, ironically enough, you are asking me what the OVO XO sound is. Okay, so the reason I say the OVO XO sound is because they were the ones who kind of brought this production technique back into the mainstream because their engineer Noah Shabib used to do this a lot on a lot of Drake and The Weeknd's earlier material, which obviously got huge around the world and everyone really likes that sound right now because we've been so influenced by it. Even I use it a lot in my music, which is why I really like your question because I can show you exactly what I like to do. So in this case, what I'm actually going to show you an example. Let's pull up a sample, just something simple, just a chord progression or something. Let me just go through my. Okay, cool. So this is just a. Oh, someone followed me on SoundCloud. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Go check me out at Natuno Music. Okay, so wow, I'm really not used to this kind of self promotion. I feel so weird right now. uh, I've got the sample going, right? Nice little piano. Okay, so now this piano has a lot of information in it in terms of frequencies. You can hear that it's got a lot of mids, a lot of highs, and when I'm speaking over it, you can't really hear too much of what I'm saying too clearly, right? Compared to when I stop it, you can hear what I'm saying. So this is what you're talking about. How do you unmask your vocals with? How do you unmask your vocals from the samples that you're using behind it, right? So the first thing you can do, and obviously the biggest thing that you should do for this is actually filtering or EQ. So I'm gonna show you how to do this with an EQ because you're an FL user, I think, if I'm not mistaken. And so FL has a stock EQ as well. I can't remember what it's called. I think it's like Spectrum EQ or something like that. But you can use the 8-band EQ in FL to do this technique as well. So I'm just gonna chuck an EQ 8 onto this fella right here and watch, right? Don't pay attention to this one. I'm gonna grab this. Yeah, shout out to the FL homies. Seriously, you guys are fucking awesome. Um, we've got a low pass filter. Okay, so this shape right here, this is a low pass filter because it lets all the lower frequencies pass, right? So you want to set one of those up and pull out these higher frequencies like this. So I'm gonna play the piano part and roll off some of these frequencies, and you hear what it's doing to the sample. Right? So you notice how it's got a bit more of a. You can hear my voice against the sample a lot better. Like. Compared to. This compared to. So you notice how when I roll off those upper frequencies, it kind of unmasks some of the details in what I'm doing when I'm singing these vocals, because I'm singing a very subdued, very low kind of part. And when you roll off these frequencies, Drake has a very low voice. That's one of the reasons that Noah Shabib, his engineer, used this on a lot of his pads. When you've got a lower voice and you're singing lower registers, or you're trying to go for a more intimate part, rolling off those higher frequencies on the other instruments really helps you get your vocal to stand out. So regardless of what sample you're using, try this technique. Go in, put a EQ on it, set it to low pass, and just roll off those high frequencies to taste. I've seen Noah should do it all the way down, like here sometimes. If you really want it, like, because now you can really hear low details in my voice, even though there's something going on in the back. But if this was going, you can't really hear the lower details in my voice. You see what I mean? Or else here you can. Okay? So, I hope that answers your question. Oh, thank you so much, Alif. I really appreciate it. I am only recently getting a bit more confident about my singing voice, and I kind of have to because I'm putting out material this year that I'm singing on, so I don't have a choice. Okay, so yeah, that's that. That was the last question I was gonna answer. I'm gonna load up a track that Baguette and I are working on and just show you guys that, and we'll talk a little bit about the track, and yeah, we'll call it a night. And yeah, let's have some fun. Let's have some fun. If you guys want to shit post in the chat, please keep me company. I like hearing from y'all. No worries, Darshan. Okay, before we go to this track, I am gonna put you guys on standby for a second while I set up something and empty my bladder again because I have been drinking coffee, and coffee is a liquid. All right, I'll be right back, you beautiful people. And he's back. Ash was saying that he can hear my phone buzzing and shit, and it's because I left the microphone on when I went to pee. Sorry, guys. Okay. Let me just check the questions again. Anybody else asking anything? Darshan's gonna be the weekend, and I will personally make sure that that happens. Darshan, that's a promise. Hit me up. Hit me up. Darren, buddy, I haven't heard your beats yet, but hey, man, hook me up. Seriously, hook me up. I'm always looking for friends who are local talents who are trying to get into the game because it's just awesome to work together, man. And yeah, hit me up if you need anything. And yeah, I'm telling you this because Darshan and I are tight. We're born a few hours apart, so like you get like brother benefits as well. Isis, awesome. You're very welcome for the Q&A session. Thank you for joining me and sticking through the whole thing. I really hope you learned some stuff, bro. I really hope so. Hey guys, how did the alcoholic open the door? Hey boy, let's make something positive come out of this MCO. Fuck yeah, let's make something really positive come out of this. Whiskey, like with key, but whiskey. Taran, I was gonna sign you, but now, buddy. uh, one last question for Natuno. Do you use Mixer for feeding, streaming your audio to us? Yes, I am using a software mixer called Voice Meter. It is a software mixer that's in your computer that basically helps you split this microphone from your Ableton and allows it for this to be sent to the stream and for Ableton's audio to be sent to the streaming software as well. Okay, so the thing that I use is the things I use are I'm using Voice Meter, I'm using OBS, which is the streaming software, and Ableton Live, which is my DAW. Okay. Thanks, you're the best. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. All right, cool. Nice. All right, guys, it's time to listen to this new beat that I've been talking about constantly, but haven't actually imported into the session yet, so you can't listen to. But before I do that, I am going to give you a special sneak preview. at the single that I'm working on, my first single that no one has really heard yet. Um, and yeah, I thought I'd show you guys. Um, like I said, no one's heard this version yet, and it's a bounce that I made for myself to be able to listen to in the car. I don't know if there's vocals on it. Okay, there's no vocals on it, but I hope you enjoy this instrumental. Yeah, it's gonna be my first song. Put a lot of work into it. Not completely done with it yet, but this one seriously goes out to you guys. It's called Break This Cassette. Thank you.
Oh, yeah. So when you miss me, baby, pick up the phone late at night around 2. Yeah. Tell me all the things you want me to do to you. But if I put up a fight, yeah, would you call it round 2, girl? When you know that I am when you miss me, yeah, pick up the phone late at night around 2. Yeah. Tell me all the things you want me to do to you. Yeah, would you call it round 2, girl? When you know that I liquid screen emotions, looking like devotion. Hey, just saying that ass like the ocean, lips like emotion, hitting me up after dark, baby. Hey, yeah, I am with your liquid screen emotion, bounce like an ocean. Hey, I should swim like the ocean, lips like emotion, hitting me up after dark, baby.
So yeah, that's Break This Cassette. It is releasing in May. I've got plans for it. Thank you guys so much for the kind words. I really, really appreciate it. I seriously appreciate it. Okay, so the next one I'm going to show you guys is a track that I'm working on with Mr. Glazed Baguette. Holla at your boy in the chats. Glazed Baguette, super, super talented producer, and the first person that I ever taught anything to. And yeah, this dude's seriously one of my best friends and my brother, and he pushes me musically all the time. And this is the first song that we've made together since a while, actually. It's it's been a while since we've made a track together. So yeah, you guys get to hear another unreleased track tonight, and yeah, let's get it. Ah, okay, cool. Yeah, I think it's been about a year since we've made something together. Hey, bro. Crazy, man. And yes, check out my boy Glazed Baguette on SoundCloud, on Instagram, all that good shit. Go check him out. Abstract Nature artist. We're both the artists on Abstract Nature as a label. And yeah, we've got big plans for you guys this year. So check us out on social media, guys. Cool. So this song is working title. It's called Love You. Um, but it's not completely done yet. Not completely done yet, but it's a demo for you guys to listen to, and I hope you enjoy it.
Seems we'll be apart.
Oh, nope, that's not supposed to happen. Rule number one, guys, Ableton Live, warping is very, very important. This sucker right here, this engine is very, very important. I'm gonna turn warping off. All right, let's get it.
Seems we'll be apart for a while. This isolation's a dear old friend of mine, but I know as the time goes by, I'll only think of you all the while. Do you think of me at all? From the moon to the stars over in the night sky, these city lights will bring us back to life. And all I want to do is go chasing you. I go chasing you, 'cause I want to love you, babe. Said I want to love you, babe. Girl, I want to love you, babe. Yeah. Said I wanted to love you, babe. Ocean of devotion, give me all your love. Between your legs where I've had it all. Baby, 'cause you know that I want you to. When I see you again, love, my heart beats loud with emptiness. Baby girl, I hope that you come back soon. 'Cause I wanted to love you, babe. For your heart and soul. I wanted to love you, babe. Let me hold you close. I wanted to love you, babe. You can have it now. I wanted to love you, babe. So let me find your love. Your heart and soul. Hey, hey, let me hold you close. Hey, yeah, hey. You could have enough. Hey. So let me find your love.
And that is the track, ladies and gentlemen.
It seems we'll be a
Yep. Back with a vengeance. That is the track. Yeah. This is a new one. We are going to be putting this out probably in June or so. But we'll see what happens. It might come sooner. Thank you so much, guys. Thank you so much. Isis is awesome. Josh, Alif, all of you. Asfar. Seriously, I appreciate it. We appreciate it. If you guys have anything to say about the track, please tell us. Thurish is here in the chat as well. And yeah, let us know what you think. Before I close off the stream for the night, we'll stay on for maybe 10 more minutes and just hang out a little while. Oh my gosh, it's Afaro. I thought that name was familiar. What's up, buddy? It is so good to have you. Thank you for joining us, bud. Thank you. I hope you're doing well. I read the news like Aspa Jamil, like I've seen this somewhere. I know this dude. Hang on, it's not quite clicking. Cool. All right. Hey, wait, that means it was Afaro who commented on the track just now. Oh, damn, bruh. Guys, it's legit. Afaro commented on the track. Okay lah, can release the deal lah, bro. Thresh, where's that, bro? Where's that? So that song actually happened as an idea that Thresh had written on the piano and the guitar and the drums, and he had written like a little bit of a like a a specific 1 minute arrangement, and he sent it my way, and I listened to it, and I instantly felt really inspired by that chord progression that he sent. So what I did was I took the chord progression and I sound designed the guitar that was on it to sound a bit spacier, and just started arranging out the track, arranged it out, wrote some vocals to it, recorded the vocals in my closet behind me over there. Yeah, fun fact, guys. So I'll actually show you this. So this is how I've been tracking my vocals during this quarantine because I've been working on my EP. Let me show you. Okay. So I don't know if you guys can see it, but in the back there is my closet with a sliding door. So I actually get into that closet and close it. I'll show you. And yes, it has worked out pretty well, I would say. You've heard you've heard the vocals on the track. I think they sound pretty okay for a closet. Um, so yeah, it was a track that literally he made this little arrangement and he sent it over my way, and I felt super inspired by it. Ended up writing a bunch of lyrics and arranging out in one night. And I was tracking vocals for "Break This Cassette," which is a song I showed you guys earlier. And I finished tracking vocals and I was like, man, I really just need to do the guide vocals on this new track because I can't get this melody out of my head. It's sticking with me, and that doesn't always happen with all of my melodies. So I was really happy it happened this time. So tracked it out, and I ended up just editing the vocals and stuff with Thurish on Discord like the very next day. The very next day, we jumped onto the Abstract Nature Discord channel where I've created a studio like chat room, and we just sat on Discord and worked on the rest of the song together and finished it out. Like I was bouncing out the stems of the vocals and sending it over to him while he was reworking the bass line. And he was writing the bass line based off of melodies that I had used for the vocals. And I was rearranging parts of the vocal harmonies and stuff based on what he was doing on the bass, and just it was really something, man. Like sparks flew, I guess, and it was interesting because it was our first time kind of doing it over a Discord session, and yeah, guys, jam with other producers on Discord. It's actually really cool. Just like set up Discord on your phone, have your earbuds in, and just have your other producer friend on the other side and work on the same track. It's really interesting. Seriously, a lot can come out of it. Just a little tip for you guys, I guess, from something that we have just experienced. But yeah, thank you guys so much for the feedback on the track. We're both very happy. I feel like I'm floating on cloud nine right now, and I know for a fact that Thurish must be very happy as well. And yeah, so let's talk about the next stream. So, do you guys want to see me do this again? Do you want me to get sexy on camera for you again? Also, second question, do you like my Counter-Strike look? Because when you play terrorists in Counter-Strike, I think I can't remember, but one of them has like a red bandana and the camel pants, and I've got the green bandana and camel pants, trying to pay tribute to Counter Strike, trying. Yeah, you guys are liking this? Okay, cool. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Absolutely. That's awesome, guys. I am so glad to hear that you're liking this content. I'm very, very glad to hear it. So, what I plan to do I thought you were going for MGMT vibes look. I was definitely trying for the MGMT look, but not going to say it out loud. A live stream of that Discord session would be fine. Oh man, yeah, dude. I really wish I had recorded that Discord session. It was something else. It was magic. Tutorials are intuitive, easy to understand. Hope you can make more, probably more technical and working on a project. No worries, man. As I continue to do this, I am going to step up my production quality and the quality of these tutorials and everything about it because like I said, guys, so this is the end of our session for today. So I just kind of want to talk to you guys about why I'm here streaming today. So I had mentioned it earlier, but given the current situation with the MCO, with it being extended and everything, Abstract Nature is not going to be doing shows for a fair while, guys. I honestly can't tell you when we're going to start doing shows again because I myself, as the leader of my team, I don't want to be putting my my performers and my team and my crew members in danger if things don't really settle because we don't know what's going to happen after this, honestly. So, on the event side of stuff, we are not planning anything for the rest of the year. I'm not planning anything for us. None of us are really going to try. Um, it is what it is. We will probably like to look at doing events again, but we will have to look at what the situation of our industry is like. That being said, guys, I don't know how much you guys know about what I do for a living, but the events company is actually my full-time job. So now that the events company is not doing anything, I am relying completely on freelance work. And you know how the industry is right now with everybody canceling jobs and just all this crazy shit happening. So I'm looking to start putting out content that is completely education focused, tutorials, um, videos, live Q&As like this, streams, all this kind of stuff. And honestly, this kind of material, I will take a little bit of time to kind of get it rolling and set up properly. Like today was literally my first experience doing this whole like live stream Q&A kind of thing. I think it's gone really, really well. I feel like I've managed to help quite a few of you guys. And my plan beyond this point is actually to make this my full time, where teaching and online content creation becomes my full time personally. So I am looking to transition into doing this. And honestly, your support is going to help me do it even better. So there's quite a bit of things that I don't really have in my setup right now that would really help. Um, there's like for example, like I'm dealing with latency issues. I don't have a webcam that's not attached to my computer and isn't shit. Just lots of different things, you know. I want to eat food. Ignore me. Um, there's a lot of things that I want to do with this channel, and honestly, monetary support really helps. And I hope you guys understand. I've worked my ass off since 2015 to develop my sound, to get my production chops to the point where I can explain it to you guys easily and it becomes easy for you, where it's not a complicated explanation, you know? And I really want to be able to do this full time, to be able to teach you guys and to be able to share all this with you. But one thing I can't do, unfortunately, is give away everything that I've put my life into learning and developing. I can't give it away for free to everybody. Unfortunately, because it's my bread and butter, guys. Like, I need to make my I just bumped my mic. I need to make my living as well. You know what I mean? So this is what I'm trying to transition into. Right now, I'm trying to decide how I want to present my course material. I'm playing around with a few different ideas right now. One method is to go with a Patreon account where there's different tiers of subscription, where the lowest tier being $1 a month, and with $1 a month you get access to a certain amount of content, and just a tiered system. I don't need to explain how Patreon works. I'm sure you guys kind of know of it, and if you don't, do shoot me a DM, and I don't mind sending you some links to explain what Patreon is. But essentially, Patreon is one way I aim to take it. The other would be completely off YouTube ad revenue. In which case, I need to start building this YouTube account, which is exactly what I'm trying to do, which is why I'm streaming to YouTube and not streaming to Facebook, because I want to build a YouTube partnership with this account. So every week, I'm going to be putting out video content related to audio production. And one of the things I want to be able to do is put everyone that is on this Patreon subscription onto a Discord server chat with me, where possibly like every specific Wednesday night, maybe you guys just have this with me every week, and all you've got to pay is, like $5 a month, something like that. Like I'm thinking about a few different ideas where it's value for money for you guys as well, because I understand how expensive it is to learn this kind of shit right now. The info is out there on YouTube for free. It's all scattered and segmented, and it's hard to kind of reach the sound you're going for specifically just off of YouTube and looking at tutorials, because it's gonna take you a bit of time. You're gonna have to look really dig and look for the tutorials that you want amongst all this oversaturation of content. Whereas what I'm trying to offer you guys is a low subscription model where you get personalized content. So I'm gonna make answers that are for you. Like, how would I teach you to use a compressor? You know what I mean? So like, instead of showing you how a compressor works, I'll show you how a compressor works for a future R&B track, because that's what you're making. You're a future R&B artist. I'll show you how to use a compressor like a future R&B artist would. So there's going to be a lot of research involved on my part, where I'm going to research you as a student, and these are things I want to offer at higher Patreon tiers. So these are a few different ideas I've got on me right now. And yeah, I'm honestly trying to hustle as fast as I can, guys, because honestly, I'm just trying to get this out there. I really, really want to start helping you guys soon, and I need to start putting more food on the table for the family. So yeah, that's kind of what I've got in mind. If you guys have any ideas or feedback on what kind of content you would like to see on my YouTube channel, and maybe even some ideas of what you would want to pay for a Patreon subscription to my content, and what you would pay for it, what you would like out of that payment. If you can give me some suggestions, guys, it would really help me kind of get this rolling fast, because I actually aim to set up my Patreon next week itself so I can start doing this consistently. And yeah, today was the maiden voyage and my prototype test run. I think it's gone pretty well, I reckon. Spare a few disconnection hiccups here and there, and my bladder, that's the size of a 4-year-old's. Not the size of a 4-year-old, but like the size of a bladder that belongs to a 4-year-old. Yeah. Okay. I'm gonna read some of your comments. Twitch, I think. Okay, so I've got a question for Glazed Baguette. My dude wants me to join a studio session with him after this. How are we doing for time right now, Baguette? Do I need to tell these lovely people that we've got to go, or can we give them a bit more time and just hang out for a little while more and get a bit more feedback? What are we thinking? What are we thinking? We good? All right, cheers, buddy. Cheers. Okay, guys. Well, let's hang out for a bit more. I really would like to hear more on what you guys think about this whole Patreon thing, or how you would like to see content delivered. Would you prefer a one-time payment for videos that you can keep, or would you prefer, live stream sessions like this with multiple people? Anything like that. Afaro, I don't think I will be playing anything else tonight, bro. Would you like to hear something though? Um, I can check for something, but probably not gonna chuck anything back on. Just want to hear from all the beautiful people out here what they think about this Patreon thing. Thank you for joining me though, Faro. I really appreciate it, man. Seriously, really appreciate that you're here. Guys, Afaro right here. Let me just plug this dude real quick. If you guys do not know who Afaro is, you need to get knowing. Especially if you're a fan of house music or funk or disco or any of that good shit. Go and check this guy out. Okay, he runs a record label called Far Off Records. It is dope. They do so much cool shit and they produce for a lot of people. Go check him out. Afaro is a gangster. Slit my throat. Oh, Nadia. She's referring to a weird song that I'm working on right now called Slit My Throat. Really great market for you to sell and be educational. That being said, I think the biggest market is on the rising Malay singers trying to record themselves. Yeah, man, I've actually noticed that our big markets really tend to be in our languages, like variety of languages. So like there's a huge segregated Mandarin and Cantonese market. There's a huge segregated Malay market. There's a pretty big, dare I say, huge Indian and Tamil market as well. And I really would like to tap into doing these kind of things for artists like this. And yeah, it's exactly why I've started this YouTube account and why I'm trying to look at Patreon. Just because I think it's about time that we kind of pull together and start sharing our knowledge. You know, on my side, the reason I'm trying to put a price tag to my content is solely because I want to run it like a business where I can use the funds from it to support the digital content business, buy better webcams, get a better interface for latency, finally build a PC so I don't have to use my laptop that's actually literally held together by duct tape, and just things like this, you know. So I want to put it out first and then start reaching out to these other singers and other instrumentalists and producers that are starting out once I've got testimonials from you beautiful people. So once I've taught you guys and you're happy and you've gotten to where you want to be, when you start telling your friends and people that you know, hey, Natuno is going to understand you and take you to where you want to go. That's what I'm trying to do. I don't want to sell just a course that you're going to watch and gain something from and then kind of put away. I kind of want to sell you what I'm giving to my artist, who is Glaze Baguette. What I did for him was, when I found him, he was making 2-track beats on SoundCloud with the Ableton Push. You know, hey Daniel, thanks for joining us, buddy. So Therish was making 2-track beats on the Ableton Push, just sampling MP3s, chopping them up, flipping them, chucking drums onto them, and it was great. When I found him on SoundCloud, he's a old high school friend of mine. But when I found him on SoundCloud and I checked out his shit and I heard what he was doing, I was like, man, this is insane. Like, this kid has so much potential. If he had the opportunity that I had, which was to go and actually study sound, like if he had that same opportunity, this kid is gonna fucking go places. And he was my first prodigy in the sense because, like I said, this guy's my best friend. I've known him since we were in high school. And to me, we didn't do the whole paperwork and contract signing thing because we are abstract nature together, you know. So the way I helped him mature as an artist, was I didn't hold his hand and just give him links of shit to go and read up on or watch. I gave him the basics like this, where I'd ask him, hey, what are you trying to learn? Like, what do you want to sound like? And he'd tell me, oh, okay, I want to sound like Tame Impala. And then I go, okay, cool. So this is what I know about that production technique already. And this is what I can already show you about that. And in the time that he's going in and doing external and extra research on these little nuggets that I've given him, like, okay, so Tame Impala likes to put choruses on his toms. Go and watch a video about putting choruses on toms. Or go and read about a chorus, or go and try it yourself. I'd give him these little assignments, okay? And he'd continuously put in the effort, like, and work on these things. And today he's the producer that he is because of it. And it's not something where he watched a video course and then kind of just became it. It was a growing process. And I think that model works really well because he's become a very unique artist that wants to sound exactly like he sounds. And a lot of these courses that are online only kind of teach you how to make future bass or how to make trap or how to make hip hop or how to make pop or how to make boom bap. Like they only teach you a specific thing. But what I'm trying to offer is actually a customized experience to you and your goals. So think of like a personal trainer, but like a personal producer coach, you know? So like where someone might be selling you piano lessons, I'm selling you music production lessons and your instrument is your laptop or your software, you know? So yeah, that's essentially what I'm trying to do, guys. Cool. So, sorry, I feel like I might have just gone off on a super long rant there. But I just wanted you guys to understand where I'm trying to take this type of content. Yeah, so because it's a long-term kind of engagement, I think this is why Patreon is a better option because you can choose to unsubscribe whenever you want. And you can choose to resubscribe whenever you want. Your progress is still going to be with me. My record file of what you've done is still going to be with me. So if you want to unsubscribe and then resubscribe at a later point when you're able to, that's not an issue, you know. Um, Obviously, it's going to work at different tiers. So at the lower tiers, you might only get like a sample pack or get access to my Discord server. At the higher tiers is where you might get, okay, every month you get feedback on one of your tracks. And then at another tier after that is where you get that full on like, okay, I'm gonna produce you as your coach. You know, that kind of thing. So there's different tiers to it, which is what I like about Patreon. Trying to find another producer I could learn from, because honestly speaking, self-taught from YouTube videos of self-experiment trends to slow. Yeah, bruh, Isis, Danielle, right? Dude, I totally understand you, man. YouTube is great for learning, and honestly, that's how I did it as well. But it it's not as it's like learning the guitar off YouTube, like you know, like learning the guitar off YouTube compared to learning from an actual teacher. When you're learning off YouTube, your your growth is kind of hindered or limited by how much you're searching and how well you know how to work the algorithm. Um, yeah. Or else when you're going to a teacher, like you have someone who's actually looking at you and looking at you for the player that you are and helping you improve for the unique musician that you are. Wouldn't you guys pay something like wouldn't you pay for something like that instead of paying for a guitar lesson, let's say you want to learn how to use the DAW as an instrument, pay for a DAW lesson instead. And man, I can make it cheaper because it's delivered in a format like this. Patreon allows me to make it cheaper for you guys because of the tiered system, you know? So yeah, that is my elevator pitch, my ridiculously long elevator. Cool. That's good to know, guys. Thank you for the feedback. Thank you very much for the feedback. Thank you for participating tonight, and thank you for all the questions. I am very happy to be able to help you guys. Very happy. Yeah, you see, one of the things that I think is beneficial to a model like this, where you're being coached by someone, is okay. So sound engineering and audio production is a vocational trade. It's a vocational trade in the sense where you are working with your hands with machinery. Okay, so my course, my degree in audio production was from a vocational school. Vocational schools teach things like logistics, precision mold and tool engineering, retail management. These are all vocational courses, and audio production is a vocational course as well because you work with your hands. Now, the thing about vocational courses and what is so great about them and the whole vocational teaching concept is that the student is allowed to improve at their own pace based on the effort that they exert onto their work. So if you're the type that is a very quick hands-on learner, you might be motivated to do even more in the time that you have. And hey, if you can do more, I'm here to push you even harder, you know. So it's up to you if you'd like to take it in chunks and really space out your content, or it's up to you if you just kind of want to keep working on little projects. You know, it's customizable. It's really customizable. All right, I'm just gonna check out who else is on the stream still. Let's see. I wonder if Josh Thomas is still here. No, he's not. Participants. It says I've got 13 participants, but under participants, it shows me 6 people. So I've got I've got 7 spooky ghosts hanging out as viewers. So to you, I say hello, spooky friends. Thank you for sticking around. Would you guys like to hear something else? Spook. Spookers. Spooky. Spookoo. Okay, so I'll play you guys. Oh, boo. That scared the shit out of me, man. Damn. Okay, so, is Darshan still here? Ah, he is. Cool. Sup, family? So, I don't know, Darshan, if you remember the loop that piano loop that I had used to demonstrate the technique that you had asked the question about. If you're still here, buddy, please drop me a message. Oh fuck, Ash, scary. If you're still here, drop me a message, Darshan. I'll show you something cool. Hello, Swit. Welcome back. There you are. Hello. Hello, Hazwani. All right, cool. Let me play you guys some. Oh, fuck, Adam's still here. Spooky shit, man. I thought you were gone, bud. You were really quiet. You busy taking notes? You didn't ask any questions. How's it going, Adam? Did you learn anything good, bro? Meantime, let me load you guys up some music. Tidal wave. There we go. Hey, what's up? What's up? What's up? I was trying to ask. Oh yeah, Adam. What do you think of the Patreon idea, Adam? Hey, no wonder, no wonder. Cool, man. Send me some pictures. I hope it looks good. Dang, thank you for staying with us. Alif, you tagged me. I don't know if you're trying to ask me something, buddy. Yo, hey, Connor, how's it going? How's it going? Long time no see, fam. Hope you're doing good. Ladies and gents, we have Connor Williams, who is in the US right now, I think, if I'm not mistaken. Con, I think you're in the US, right, bud? With Lisa? Song you made with your band. Oh, wow, you want me to play the metal song that I made with my band? I do not want to kill you guys. Hey, Darshan. Okay, so I'll play you the track that I made using the sample that I used as an example earlier. Connor, all the way from Boston, Thanks for dropping by, man. Thanks for dropping by. Hope you're staying safe out there, Con. I don't know what the situation's like in Boston, but I hope you and Lisa are safe, buddy. Alright, guys, let's listen to some shit. The song is called Tidal Wave. Sorry guys, I was actually playing that the wrong tempo. My mistake, my mistake. Like I said, Ableton Live, the warping mode will kick your ass if you're not careful. This thing right here, this warping mode, it will fuck your shit right up. Let's try that again. Sorry about that. What's up, Eric? Welcome to the stream, buddy. Thank you for dropping by. Thank you guys so much for the kind words. Seriously, it means a lot to me. And that was Tidal Wave. So This is a track that I made about a very, very um, tough point in life, and it was inspired by a poem that a very good friend of mine wrote. Yeah. Slap some anime clips on it. Yes, it is absolutely begging to be Naruto videoed. Do you guys want to hear more music? I can play you a couple more demos from an EP that I have sitting on my computer that is just not doing anything right now. What are your favorite plugins for sound design? Faro, okay. Good question, buddy. Okay, so sound design wise, I've actually gone back to using a lot of Ableton stock, to be honest with you. Um, I found that it the simplistic interface and just knowing how to use it, it just works. It can get me to the sounds that I have in my head a lot faster than just dicking around with presets on something that I don't really know well. That being said, though, I do have a few secret weapons that I like to use, and I will share one of them with you today. Okay? So I will show you one of my favorite secret weapons. Since you have asked so nicely, and because I like you, Faro, you're cool, so I will show you. Over here. So something that I like to use a lot in my wavetable is gangster as fuck. I love wavetable. Wavetable is the reason that I haven't bought Serum yet. That and the second reason I haven't bought Serum yet is because Serum hasn't gone on sale yet. That's why. But Wavetable is super powerful. Wavetable is actually on the song that Baguette and I did together. There's an instance of Wavetable on that track. Okay, so I'm gonna show you my one of my secret weapon plugins since you asked, and something I use a lot in my music, which you might be able to hear from these tracks that I've been playing you guys, is bit crushing. I'm a very, very big fan of retro video game sounds, and you can see it with the kind of synthesizers and sound design that I like to use. And so bit crushing is a very, very unique thing that I like. CPU can't handle the wavetable. Buddy, I feel you, man. It is quite CPU intensive. I tend to use wavetable only at the start of a project when I'm writing. And then once I'm done writing, I just bounce it straight to audio, bro, so I can work with it better. Yeah, I don't even bother keeping it on wavetable for too long. But yeah, to answer, yes, the lead on the choruses is wavetable. It's called the Funk, Monster Funk lead. It's a preset on Ableton. Okay, so without further ado, my secret weapon, Bit Crusher. This, guys, is a free plugin. You're going to love this. It is called. Yeah, so I freeze and flatten once I'm done writing. Uh, yeah, freeze and flatten lah, easiest. System specs on my laptop right now. Okay, so my laptop is kind of old. It's from 2016. It's running a i7 with 8 cores. It's a 2.8 gigahertz processor, if I'm not mistaken. 8 cores. Can't remember the cache. I'm using 8 gigs of RAM. GeForce 970M graphics card, which is not important for audio production at this stage right now. And a Samsung 250 gig SSD, like a M2 NVMe SSD for my main disk, and then there's a 1 terabyte hard disk inside the computer as well. That's just a normal HDD. But I plan to replace that HDD with a SSD that I just ordered and chuck that HDD into a caddy and replace my CD drive with that. So that's basically my computer setup. But yeah, Afaro, I just freeze and flatten once I'm done writing on Wavetable, just because I like having low latency when I work, especially in the composition stage, because I record a lot of live instruments and percussions and stuff like that. So like having latency just kills it. Okay, so without further ado, my secret weapon. Here it is, guys. This is the Crush by Tritic. This is a free plugin, okay? This right here honestly, it is not my favorite bit crusher because my favorite is a different one that is paid for, and it's quite expensive. It's called Decimort by D16. But Crush, Crush, I would say, is the most inspiring bit crusher I have ever used. The reason I say it's the most inspiring bit crusher I've ever used is because, hang on, guys, I'm just gotta. Okay, cool. The reason that I would recommend Crush, guys, first of all, it's free, completely free, okay? The reason I say it's the most inspiring bit crusher I've ever used is because of this section down here, the modulation section. Now, what is freaking epic about this modulation section is you can set it to modulate literally anything you want, right? So like I'm setting it like that's how much it's modulating the drive. That's how much it's modulating the crush. That's how much it's going to modulate this guy. You can modulate the filters. Yes, there's filters in it. There's lots of great stuff, and it's completely free. It's got its own dry and wet control, so you can mix in only a wet signal if you want, parallel processing, all that good shit. And it's got an LFO for the modulation matrix, guys, for a free plugin. It's crazy, phenomenal value for money, honestly. Go and download this. Crush by Tritic. I am in by no way sponsored by them, but I'm gonna try my level best to get fucking like linked up with these guys. They're great. It's nice because of the presets as well. Because you can chuck it onto like, okay, let me give you an example, okay? So I've got this is one of my signature sounds, something that I like to use. This sound right here is from my keyboard, from my Yamaha keyboard, okay? So I'm just gonna play that back for you. This sample is from my Yamaha keyboard, my Yamaha PS. It's one of the weird, quirky sounds that this keyboard has that makes me love it so much. If you've seen my recent Instagram video where I made a beat using only these cheap keyboards, you'll see that in the middle of the video, I press a button and you hear, "Hoo," like a monkey. And yeah, that's actually from the synthesizer. I mean, from the keyboard. So, this this is Ashwin's favorite sound right here. Now, this sound is cool, right? But what if I put the crush onto it? Okay? Now I'm just gonna pick a random modulation preset lah, let's say. Okay? No, actually let's go simple. Let's go crushing preset, okay? Hey Kamal, how's it going, handsome? Good to see you. Thank you for joining the stream. Okay, so I'm gonna chuck on just a normal preset, yeah? That's some weird shit, man. And yes, Daniel, that sample, that bongo sample is from the Yamaha keyboard. So we've got this. Let's see what this sounds like. Ooh, that's cool though. Listen to that shit go. It gives you that old sampler kind of. See what I mean? And the fact that it's got the dry wet here means you can kind of like mix in the original signal and like bring down the wet if you don't want it so bit crushed. See what I mean? Okay, now let's try one of the modulation presets, okay? The modulation preset will basically make one of these things modulate. So it will change every time you play it. You hear it going, yeah, airy modulation. Oh, this is cool. Let's try another one. Tremolo. Oh, dude. Listen to that, though. You get so many weird sounds out of just a bit crusher. Okay, you've got filter modulation, you've got bit crushing modulation, and it's a free plugin, guys. Seriously, this is my gift to you. Go and check it out. Please go and download this plugin. Please use it on your music and think of me. Go check it out, guys. It's awesome. It's awesome. All right, Darshan, thank you so much for joining me, man. And thanks for staying through the whole thing and asking your questions. I hope I've managed to help you tonight. Have a good one, dude. Stay safe, yeah? Yeah, it's a bit crusher that's digital, but it gives you some really interesting sounds. Rhodes, ooh, things getting spicy, my man. Getting spicy in the chats. I did not make the crush. I cannot take any credit for it at all. I have shown it to you guys. Please go and download it and use it on your music too, guys. Let's all make some awesome shit and put it out together. And let's just take our industry to the next level together. Seriously. I think we should all just get along and work together and shit. Okay, so the Crush, awesome bit crusher, but it's not the only bit crusher I use. Like I said, I actually find myself going to the Ableton stock bit crusher all the time, depending on what I'm trying to do. Um, Man, like I said, when you go back to learning the stock gear, you really understand how that type of effect works. So like by using the Ableton stock bit crusher, which I'm gonna drag on now, Redux. It's called Redux. Now, Redux is super simplistic, as you can tell. It's got literally four controls, okay? Bit reduction, turning on and off the bit reduction, your downsampling, and whether you're doing hard downsampling or soft downsampling. Essentially, all you need to know is this thingy over here is how 8-bit you want it to sound. So if you want it to sound 8-bit, literally bring it down to 8. If you want it to sound 16-bit, go to 16. If you want it to sound like your old MPC samplers, those were 12-bit. So that's that. Downsample is how distorted you want your shit to be. And the hard and soft clipping is self-explanatory. Hard clipping is a harsher sound, soft clipping is a less harsh sound. So once you understand these controls in a basic bit crusher like the one in Ableton, when you move over to something like Crush, like let me bring Crush out, right? This piece of information right here, guys, honestly, that I'm sharing with you, I hope you find it valuable because this is the most valuable thing I've had last year. Going back to just original plugins and just stock plugins, I have spent so much time wasted just using stuff and putting presets on and just like trying to download all these plugins and just not knowing how to use them. It's a waste of time, man. Learn how to use your equipment, learn how to use your tools, and any sound that you have in your head you can make because you know how to use it. So if we come back to the Crush and compare it to the Redux over here, right? Crush is this bit reduction. DWSP is downsample. Drive is this thing over here, but as a knob function instead of a button function, right? So all this shit is here too. Ableton has already tried to teach you. The filter section is pretty self-explanatory. If you've used any EQ or filter, you'll know what this is. I actually use this on, shoot, I wish Darshan was still here. So this is actually something that The Weeknd and Drake use a lot of, where they will filter down their sounds using the filter of the bit crusher itself, and then they'll add back bit crushing after that. Pro tip for you guys. This is something I would not tell anybody else because it's a very unique part to my own sound design technique. But since you guys are here, I'll share it with you, okay? Things I want to learn. Audio effects and MIDI effects. Yeah, dude, they're honestly worth learning. One more piece of advice I'll give you guys. If you're trying to learn Ableton, right, dude, go to your software. You see my mouse here? I'm gonna go down here, bottom left corner, press this thing. It opens this like little box in the bottom left corner. What this box does is it's Ableton's inbuilt teaching system. So whenever you hover over something, it actually teaches you exactly what that thing is, and it also teaches you the plugins, guys. You see, like I've hovered over bit reduction on the stock Ableton plugin, and it's actually telling me what bit depth means for that plugin. This is why Ableton stock is so powerful, my friends. Yes, this is important information. Insider knowledge that I will share with you because you've stayed with me on the stream this whole time. I kept it all the way until the end of the stream, right? All right, guys. So I hope you liked that little insight into plugins. I'm gonna play you one or two more demos if you guys still want to hear it before we call it a night. Would you like to hear some more music before I go, or are we good? It is so much fun being here with you guys, by the way. Like, I didn't know that this could be such a pleasant experience. Like, just streaming and teaching on this piece of software that I love to bits. It's awesome. It's a real privilege to be able to share this with you. And I've disconnected, haven't I? All right, cool. We'll play some more music for you people. Awesome. Eric, to answer your question, I think it's very beneficial to start with Ableton because you'll learn the software that you could use for until the end of your days. But honestly, dude, it really comes down to what you're trying to do as well. Like if you're trying to just only record guitars and make more band-styled music, you can actually just download something free like Reaper and try their free subscription. But there are cheaper and free versions of DAWs out there these days. I happen to use Ableton because it fits my workflow the best, and I really enjoy using it. Honestly, I've used a lot of DAWs, man. I've used a lot, and I think Ableton is great because it reminds me of everything I love about a live instrument. It feels like a live instrument, and it plays like a live instrument. That's what I like about it. Do the thing. Okay, Nadia, I got you. Play that shit. All right. Triggered AF on the Ableton info note. Yeah, right? Isn't it crazy? It's handy, dude. It's handy. Yeah, it helps to start with Ableton because starting with a different software and then moving to Ableton can be a bit tricky because of the fact that Ableton looks different compared to other software because of this view, this view right here, which behaves and looks like a guitar pedal. Yeah, the info note thingy, every single person I've told it to who was not aware of it, they literally like, and they're like, oh my God, Pip, thank you so much. I didn't know this was here. And I'm just like, man, it's cool. I didn't know it was there until not too long ago. So, alright, let's play you beautiful people some more music. Let's get it. I'll play you more stuff from that EP earlier. This is an EP that I was working on near the start of last year when I rebranded as Netuno and I was trying to figure out my new, more chill ambient sound. So yeah, I'll play you guys some of those unreleased things. This is from the Spaceship BGM EP. Okay, I'll let you guys pick. Would you like to listen to a future bass styled track or a indie chill lo-fi kind of track or a indie R&B kind of track? Think about it. I'm gonna go pee. I'll be right back. And we're back. Hello, hello, hello. Have you guys decided? Let's see what your replies are. Okay. Bass. Seascaper, goddammit. PTSD from my first day of using Ableton. Feel you. Bass. Why not both? Seascape, goddammit. Lo-fi every day. So everyone just asks for all the songs. Hey, Tiv. Thanks for joining us, buddy. Okay, I guess we're just gonna go through all the songs. There's 3 here, so we'll just listen to those 3, okay? We'll start off with the future bass track. This song is called Sparkle Arcana. It's about a very special friend of mine. Nice. Headphone buddies. So can you guys tell that I really like bit crushers? I really like them. Thank you so much for the kind words, guys. Really means a lot to me, seriously. This is stuff that I just kind of made and has been sitting on my laptop for the longest time because I don't know what to do with it. Thank you, Olive. This is one of the songs that I actually completely wrote on keyboard first and then programmed everything else along too, which is rare for me. I don't usually work in that style. Okay, let's go and listen to the indie R&B one. Yes, the Crusher is on that track. I use the Crusher quite a bit on that track, and I used the Ableton stock Redux bit crusher on the bass, which is why the bass has that kind of like mid range to it. Thank you guys so much for the encouraging words. Seriously, you have no idea how much it means to me, man. Fuck. Okay, cool. You guys ready for another one? This song's a little bit repetitive. So I wrote it to. Can you do a MIDI writing breakdown at a later date? For sure, man. Yeah, it's definitely something that I'm considering doing. I will keep you posted. This song is a little bit long because of the way that I arranged it. I arranged it to have a female vocalist come in at the end. So the song's like 4 minutes and 40 seconds. I hope you guys don't mind. If it's getting boring or anything like that, let me know. I'll skip forward, okay? Let's go. This one's called Backseat Daydreams.
pulling me close. You're pulling me close. You're pulling me close, love.
Oh, okay. I don't know why I did that. Sorry, guys. It was actually meant to go. My bad.
Pulling me close. Pulling me close. Pulling me close, love.
Kick it. It's your boy. So yeah, that one's called Backseat Daydreams. Sorry to disturb you with my off-key singing. I really can't hear myself. So this one is a little bit of like a alternative R&B track that I wrote a little while ago using a guitar chord progression that I liked, and I actually sampled a spray can, like a spray can. Like you'll hear it. Let me find the section. Like you hear all that. Like you hear that. All that was a spray can, like a paint spray can that I sampled and chopped up and sound designed using my favorite styles and techniques. So yeah. Okay, so I will play you guys the last song, if you're all still with me. I promise I will not sing on this one. Okay, cool. Last song. Are you guys having fun tonight? Let's see who's still here. Cool beans, cool beans, cool beans. Thank you guys for staying. Okay, cool. Let's do it. Well, luckily, this one does not have any vocals on it, so no vocals yet. Okay, guys, this song is called Scented Sheets. Sheet yang berwangi. Alright, let's do this. This one is a bit more of like an alternative R&B style track. If you guys know any vocalists who might want to jump on this, I don't think I'm going to be singing on this track, just because I sing on all of my own material and I would like to feature someone for once. And I thought this would be a cool song to feature someone. So yeah, have a listen, guys. If you think you know anyone who want to sing on it, or if you've got some ideas, please hit me up and let me know. This is called Scented Sheets. Thank you, Div. drums. Yes. Awesome, Daniel. Awesome. Yeah, that's it. So that song's called Scented Sheets. And Daniel, thank you so much for the offer. I will send some things your way, my dude. I'm very, very curious to hear what you sound like. I don't think I've actually heard you sing before. So yeah, I would love to hear it, man. I'll send you some stuff. All right, guys. Well, oh no, is awesome. So triggered right now. Why is he triggered? Why? I don't mean to trigger anyone, man. Come on, we're all friends here. We're all friends here. Div, thank you so much, dude. I appreciate that you dropped by and watched the session. Thank you so much, man. Shout out to Thiv from Blackfire Media, guys. They're working on my music video, and they are a really great digital media company. Go and check them out, Blackfire Media, or just follow Thivian on Instagram. Cool guy, cool guy. Oh shit! Thanks a lot, Daniel. I really appreciate it, man. Well, guys, we'll chill for a couple more minutes, but we have come to the end of our little hangout session. You're very welcome, Thiv. You're very welcome. Thiv here gave me some really cool ideas last night, guys, about just YouTube content in general and how to market. So big shout outs to Thiv and Blackfire Media. Seriously, these guys are so great and so helpful. Go check them out. Will do, Aleph. I'm gonna go right back to the drawing board after this and analyze everything that I've done tonight and all of your feedback. And yeah, definitely gonna be seeing lots of content from my side. So stay in tune, guys. I will be messaging you guys personally because I need to send you the drum kit and samples. If you want that free drum kit, please subscribe to me on YouTube because I'm going to be doing this stuff really often. Hit the bell notification icon if you want your notifications. Follow me on YouTube, DM me on Instagram. I will send you that drum kit that I made for you guys, okay? I am looking forward to the next session as well. Seriously, you guys. Are weeknights like this okay for everyone? Like, should I start a little bit later? Like, Um, start at like 10, for example, or start at 9 after dinner, or is the 7 p.m. thing okay? Slap like now. I tak faham. Slap like now. There is a joke here that I am not getting. I'm glad you didn't miss it either, Alif. I'm really glad you got to come and join us tonight. I know you've been asking me about Ableton for the longest time, bro, and I haven't been able to really sit down and like kind of give you some of the answers you wanted. So yeah, I hope tonight's been useful for everyone, and I genuinely, guys, I hope you've had a good one. And I cannot thank you enough for wanting to listen to my music and for all your kind feedback. I hope you know that to a creative like myself, there's a lot of us here, man. There's a lot of us in KL who we put in the work, we put in the blood, sweat, and tears, and we really want to get our sounds out there. And there are a lot of us out here who are willing to help others like us get into the game as well. We're out here, and I think that it's really cool that if it's one good thing that's come out of this entire quarantine is that I feel like our industry is kind of pulling together a bit more, and I think that's very important for us moving forward, especially with the fact that all of us are going into digital audio mediums. We're all using laptops and computers and using software to make our music. It's important that we collaborate and learn from each other because that's exactly what the cats from Melbourne, from London, from Ausla in America, from Canada, they're all learning from each other. They're all bringing up their scene together, and that's something that we don't really do because, first of all, we have this segregation of the industry because of language. But even in the English market, we don't really work together too much. And I really want to make an effort to try and collaborate with everybody around me who's talented. Like, there's so many of us here. And yeah, seriously, guys, thank you so much for staying through this entire thing, for all of your kind words about my music, all your kind words about Baguette's music, our music together, and yeah, seriously, like this means so much to me. Thank you for staying, and I hope that I've maybe shown you a few things that would make you feel motivated to, once the stream ends, jump onto Ableton Live, make something new, man. Just have fun, seriously. Be creative, put out some good shit, and share it with us. Like, let's help each other, okay? So that's the end of my stream for tonight, guys. If you've got any other questions, please pop it in the live chat. I'll answer a few more questions before I go. But I really like the feedback that you guys have given me for my songs have really hit a note for me because I've been struggling to put out my own shit for a while now. And this year is the year that I'm planning to do it. So to hear this from you guys, it means a lot. It's the push that I really needed. So thank you guys. Thank you guys for that. Seriously. Yes, I'm looking forward to seeing you guys on the next one as well. Okay? So yeah, go and check out Crush, the Bit Crusher by Tritic. If you haven't already, it is excellent. If you end up making anything using it, please do tag me if you share it on Instagram or whatever. I would love to be able to share it to my friends as well and get you even more views. So yeah, um, I will schedule the next stream ahead of time, just like I did for this one. But I will try and schedule it way ahead of time, so like at least like 2 or 3 days ahead of time. But yeah, this stream was something I just kind of thought of last night while speaking to my friend Benson, and decided to give it a try. And um, yeah, the next one is going to have more planning put behind it, more effort, everything. And I really hope you guys will tune in for the next one and enjoy it. And I guess I'll catch you guys next time. Thank you so much for tuning in once again. I am Natuno Music, and this has been my Ableton Live Q&A. I'll catch you guys soon. Take care, stay safe, and hug your family tonight. Good night, everyone. Bye.